one.
So embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
As the kids say. It's
Are you not
embarrassing.
Are you not embarrassed? This is embarrassing.
Ooh. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux, and it's time once again for a BIPOC Streamer Award nominated. That just lost us the award right there. We just lost the nomination because I can't even say the word fucking nominate.
The nomination?
The nomination. We have lost the nomination. Let me run this back.
We lost a hateration nomination in the dancery. That's what happened.
In the dancery. Yes.
That's embarrassing. I am embarrassed.
Yes.
Let's try this again. You've tuned into another episode of the BIPOC Streamer Award nominated podcast for Taking Gaming News, Tech Talk Thursdays.
And did.
Joined here this week and every week that I'm here. Kev, it's your boy Kev in the building.
In the building. What is good, my friend?
Things are looking up, hopefully. I don't know. I feel like we're closer. So much closer. So much closer. And of course, we're joined this week by the breaker of news. Sinziak is in the building.
Hello, good evening, and I hope you have your shea butter. Because these tech people were ashy this week.
I have some Vaseline doesn't have any shea butter on it.
We're gonna do something. We care enough about this to get together about that eventually. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll work on it. We'll do it together.
Fantastic. First, before we go any further, I want to thank the Dreaded Champ for dropping that Prime sub in the building, and would like to say hello to both the Dreaded Champ and Ruination Ronin for joining. Hello. Okay, so it's been a minute. Instead of going into where the fuck we've been, where the fuck I've been, go to dcanalyst.net. There is a YouTube video over there. There is a brief text explainer if you don't want to watch 15 minutes of me just talking in front of a camera. It's fine. I get it. It took a lot for me to just be there and do that for 15 minutes. But we're here. We're back and we're trying something. We're going to be trying some new things. We'll see how long that lasts. But until we get to the future, let's talk about the present. We've got some tech. We've got some gaming news. And it's a doozy. It is a doozy. But you know, when it's a doozy out in the tech world, it's going to make it for a banger of an episode. So let's get into it, gentlemen. First off, starting with some breaking news coming out of 404 Media. OpenAI, the mass scraper of copyrighted work, claims copyright over a subreddit logo. OpenAI, a company that has indiscriminately scraped the internet and vast amounts of knowledge and creative works created by humans to build a company valued at roughly $80 billion, has made what Reddit described as a copyright complaint against the ChatGPT subreddit because it uses OpenAI's logo. But
First of all, you can't make copyright claims for logos. That's a trademark claim that you need to make for logos. But second of all, it's May. Did you know back in January, the New York Times was just kind of like, hey, OpenAI, about these things that you don't have the right to use, that you unabashedly admitted that you just scraped from the internet and used for your training models. OpenAI said, your claim has no merit. When we say life comes at you fast.
And Sin is right. According to 404 Media, it says, it is worth noting that the company logos fall under trademark law, not copyright law, but the message from Reddit posted by the mod specifically calls it a copyright complaint. The mods of the subreddit have taken down the logo from the subreddit. Neither Reddit nor OpenAI responded to requests for comment. The move comes days after OpenAI posted a blog defending its web scraping policies and a few months after the company filed a submission to the UK House of Lords, in which it said because copyright today covers virtually every sort of human expression, including blog posts, photographs, forum posts, scraps of software code, and government documents, it would be impossible to train today's leading AI models without using copyrighted material. It will be impossible for me to describe a subreddit without letting people know, hey, this is the subreddit for a company. Here is the company's logo so you can be familiar with it.
Questions, comments, concerns, but if there are any, what I will say is attributed to our good sis Monique, who is quoted as saying on so many GIFs and images and interviews. Because see, the problem is when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. Like, every time. It's the same thing with, you want to know what this is giving as an energy? Crypto people who are just like, I got robbed. Got robbed of what? Y'all don't own anything. That's the whole like underpinning principle behind this, is that there is this democratic thing where no one particularly owns anything.
Or NFTs and be like,
well, to be fair, the logo was the only thing OpenAI did technically own.
How do we know that?
Damn. Got me again.
It's just
it's like the thing with NFTs is like, that person like copy pasted my ape.
Damn.
Don't make a lot of sense.
It really don't.
they were just like, you could never make a copy of this. It's a once in a lifetime original. Did you know that Control C, Control V, like, is the answer to that question? Control X when I'm feeling spicy? Like, are you sure about this? Wait, I could screenshot this. You know that, right?
Print screen.
Once in a lifetime original. Nope.
Print screen. Command Shift 4. I don't know what to tell you. Command Shift 3.
Share X.
Like,
What are you talking about?
just OpenAI, y'all bold as hell for that.
Sure.
I hope, like, and I believe there are some people who are just like, try to like have like a little buddy moment over here, put a little arm over open. Like, I just want you to imagine the OpenAI logo right here, right? Feel free to Photoshop that if you want it at some point in the future, but be like,
I don't know
OpenAI.
why everybody just assumes that I'm great at Photoshop. Bifuteki did that earlier today. Like, dude.
I mean, no, that wasn't addressed to you. That was addressed to the audience.
Okay.
But being like, OpenAI, buddy, this one right here, sit this one out. Sit this one out. Don't, eat your food. Eat your food. Go make a PB&J and just sit there and eat quietly. Be seen and not heard at this time. And don't be seen if you can help it, to be honest, okay? Like, someone needs to do that, because if they come in for copyright, everyone's coming for copyright.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Girl, don't do it.
But
Leave
it's right
Reddit
here.
leave Reddit alone.
But it's right here. I could do it right now. I could I could take this URL. It just oh no, I've cut it out of the URL bar.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah, I felt like we needed a little bit of lighthearted humor on that, because not OpenAI, the one that specifically said, what do y'all mean copyright? Y'all are complaining too much. Methinks the people doth protest too much about things. We be like, that's not your logo. You can't use it. That's not nice. Bitch, what you mean?
I think tonight I might try a bit of Photoshoppery just to see if I can get it to work. Saying I'm gonna need you to provide me with a clean image of the buddy thing. If you could do that sometime in the next couple of hours. So I can have it. So I can have it for the thumbnail.
We can try to work on that.
If not, I might just go for the jugular and just take their logo and make it a part of the thumbnail itself. Just have it sitting there. Man, it's amazing what you could do with the internet nowadays. Like, I have to do edgy things now. Like, I'm up for an award. I have to set myself apart. Did you know that Khalif Adams and Spawn on Me was on the same list? We're on the same list as the fucking Spawnies and shit. I can't remember who else. Like, I remember seeing Khalif Adams. I'm like, yo, okay, yeah, we need to set ourselves apart. So that is by committing, according to Reddit and OpenAI, copyright infringement. When it's not, maybe that's what we have to do. How edgy are we willing to be on this show to get an award?
I mean,
how thirsty are we? I'm really thirsty. I should not have drank.
When you say how edgy, I was just thinking of something I've recently seen making the rounds on socials that I'm just like, we have limits.
I mean, I may or may not have seen what you've seen. I'll be curious. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
I'm just saying, when it comes to edgy, the things I saw this week involved a certain makeup artist, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, then definitely I have not seen any of that.
I know what you're talking about. Sam.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
We have.
I have seen that. I have seen that.
And we have limits, so we will not be doing that.
We do have limits.
We won't be doing that. We will not be doing that.
Son of a bitch. The way they hit me like a ton of bricks just then.
Be like, on this land? Absolutely not.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
In front of my seltzer? Absolutely not.
I remember seeing it went past. I'm like, wait, whoa, no, let's run that back. Let's run it back. Ah, damn it. Speaking on people on some fuck shit, the NYPD.
Tale as old as time. Song as old as time.
The NYPD. That didn't work. That didn't roll off, but it's fine.
You had it. You ate with that.
Yeah, we had a little over here. It was a moment.
Yeah, it worked.
So, for those who are not aware, for one reason or another, one, I'm going to say shame, like we do at all the protests. Two, or you've been getting your news from mainstream media. I'm also going to say shame. Don't do that because they're lying to you.
Except for, wait, because they did. Mainstream media had one single solitary good moment this week. I reposted that one. They had a person that were just like, hey, there's a protest going on, what happened? And they let this person speak uninterrupted for that whole time. And I'm just like, bless the one instance. We will give them 1 point this week.
it's like a broken clock.
Correct. It's very much that.
Except somehow it's only right once.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand how that's the case, but it's only right once.
Right. Exactly.
All I'm going to say is
not one time a day, not 2 times, just once. It's only right once.
I'm just going to say here for the sake of notes, if y'all see that on socials doing the rounds, they were at the University of Chicago, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
Is that where they were?
I think so.
At the University of Chicago, talking to some people who were protesting, and they were asking about what had happened with the protesters there recently, and someone was recounting that whole thing and how they felt about being in academia, and basically like, hey y'all, there are priorities. There is me maybe doing whatever my degree is, and then human rights. Like that's not a comparison. Like it's not a difficult question, right?
I felt that so much. It is like,
I was so proud of them, but I'm also like, I couldn't help but take a little look at the demographic of people who were delivering the news at that moment. The person who was at the studio, the person who was interviewing, and I'm just saying, there's something to be noted about the demographics there.
I didn't catch that, so could you elaborate? I may have missed that part.
So there was melanin in the news anchor room. There was also some melanin present, where the interviewer was talking to people. I'm just saying.
I mean, look, it's kind of hard to like, not to make an excuse, because this is definitely not what I subscribe to, but it's like, look, it took us a long time to get to where we are. Why would we want to sacrifice that? And it would explain why there have been some of us out there, but not a lot. Not a lot. And it's like, again, like the fact that, I was in the Stream Raleigh Discord and they were like, who side are you on, Kendrick or Drake? And I typed Macklemore. And someone's like, boo. I said, but they having a childish ass beef versus a motherfucker who cares when he did it? He still did it and nobody else has done it. Except we can look at Lupe Fiasco. Lupe's been talking about this constantly. But y'all watching a beef and the Met Gala, white boy over there sitting up rapping about fucking Hens Hall. You ask any other rapper what the fuck is Hens Hall, they ain't gonna tell you shit. I don't know. You ask any other black person about the Nakba, they ain't gonna tell you shit. Where DJ Khaled? Ain't that motherfucker Palestinian? Like just whole ass Palestinian?
Someone actually commented on that this week, and I'm just like, hey, yo, that's rude. Funny, but rude. No, I say funny, but rude. What they said was, you know what? We about to take whatever, like the cookout pass that we had out of DJ Khaled's hands and pass this to Macklemore at this point. Macklemore has said one whole thing in like the last 3 years. The one thing he decided to speak up on in an obviously public way was this. And it was on the correct side of that line. I'm just like, you know something? Go Macklemore. Good job.
Exactly. Like he could have just not said anything. And that's what I don't understand. People like but we like, I don't know. Like he's just a white was just aping the culture like Drake. But Drake still hasn't said anything.
Here's the other, we don't, Child, I'm not going to say anything about that because I know that some of y'all are Eminem fans in that same sentence. But also, while we are here, ever so briefly, apparently that song came out because he was on social media kind of like posting his thoughts about things, and someone said, I think you need to do some research before you decide to choose which of these points of opinion that you're on, because I don't think you would be siding with Palestinians if you did. So he went and did that. So he went, read the information, looked up the facts, asked some questions, got some answers, consulted Google and some history books, and dropped that. That was the response to someone being like,
okay,
you need to do your research before you speak an opinion. And he's just like, well, having done the research, and the whole song is just, here's everything that I learned. This is some bullshit. Also, fuck all y'all. So now what?
So he literally did just drop a diss track. Macklemore actually dropped a diss track on just some random fuck on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know what? I have time today. Let's do the thing.
That makes me like that song even more now.
Yeah, because someone was just like, you need to do your research. I don't know why everybody's over here on the side of the Palestinians. And he was just like, here's 2 minutes and some change of, well, this might be why. Enjoy that little knowledge. Enjoy that little knowledge nugget for today.
That makes me feel so good.
Does it give you, if it gives you the warm fuzzies, I have done my job.
It does.
I am also just, one of the things that has been kind of a, like, before we move on to the next article, right? One of the things that has come up a lot when it comes to this subject of genocide is this idea, this very weird notion that if you are a person who looks at this and just goes, hey, what we're doing over here is out of pocket and we're complicit in some bullshit, the only response that people have is you don't know things, you don't read, or you're getting all of your opinions purely from TikTok and social media, and that you don't do things like read history books or newspapers or just have general knowledge of like history or any of these things. And I just sit here and I'm like, it is amazing to me that as a general tactic, when it comes to social issues and people going, hey, that's not right for whatever reason. It could have been civil rights in 1965. It could have been like anti-war protest in the early 1990s. It's just like, y'all don't know things and that's why you're speaking about this. And it's just kind of like, here are decades and centuries of scholarship where people have been like, this has been bullshit and we've seen this part in history before and we know how it goes. It's not good. We shouldn't repeat it. And people being like, rip. Case in point, people who are just like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. And it's kind of like, did we not read about the Vietnam War? Do we not know about what happened there and how that whole thing, like what happened here in relation to that and how that went? Because I mean, we could look that up. They still have it. You can go check the DVD out from your local public library today if you wanted to know. Like, what are we talking about?
Or the university library that we happen to occupy. Since as he
something, they haven't rescinded your ability to go in there yet because they're not like, they don't have police arming like your doors and things at the dorm. So, there's that.
Since as he didn't want to go into the next article, but he did inadvertently activated the trap card. Because speaking of books, NYPD mocked for displaying textbook on terrorism studies as proof of outside agitators at Columbia. Now, so for context here, again, this is why we talked about Palestine. This is why we talked about Hens Hall. Hens Hall located at Columbia for one. For those who have been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, there have been a whole bunch of Gaza solidarity camps, or as Tim Cotton would like to call them, little Gazas. And oh my God, I have never wanted to punch somebody in the face more than I have wanted to punch Tim Cotton in the face. And
I mean, you should because of
hold on, I want to make sure. Let me.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that.
And a Kev cam.
I'm just saying that dog whistle is loud. Hey there, Minor Linux.
What's up, buddy? Why are you out of breath? What's up?
He bounded up here.
He did. I felt it.
Do you have my tablet?
No, I don't have your tablet. What did I tell you? I said if you left it on the floor, it's bound to get lost.
What is bound to get lost?
That if you leave it on the floor, it's going to disappear.
Yeah, that happened 2 minutes ago.
It happened. Okay, it happened 2 minutes ago. So it looks like you need to go find your tablet. I don't know what to tell you. It's not here. It ain't up here.
Huh? Why? How?
What? How what?
How is it not up here?
I guess because it does not have legs. It cannot walk up here. I don't know what to tell you. I do not have your tablet.
Maybe when the video game website took the video. The app I have on the tablet. Maybe walk with those kind of legs.
Okay, but it ain't here.
Okay.
Deuces.
I know what to tell you, Playboy.
I told him
out.
I told him not to leave it on the floor. It's liable to disappear.
Indeed.
Exactly, Ruin. I tried to tell him. I done caught that thing on the floor so many fucking times. Like, yeah, okay. We gonna learn some lessons today.
It's the equivalent of like my dad stepping on my Legos with bare feet.
Right, but as Ruin says, you step on that and hundreds are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, not today. Not me. Yeah, so back to this here. I want to say probably like a week ago. Time has run together so much here. But some time ago, the NYPD did go into Hens Hall and violently removed the students from the building. And of course, they got this guy, and I'm gonna pull up the 404 article just so I can get the picture of the other dude. We may not can read it, but at least we can sit there and see this here. This is Deputy Commissioner Shepard and Deputy Commissioner Daughtry. Daughtry holding a picture of a book called Terrorism, A Very Short Introduction from Charles Townsend. And Deputy Commissioner Shepard holding a bike lock, which I will read here. Quote, "This is not what students bring to school," Shepard said, holding the chain to the camera. Quote, "These are heavy industrial chains that were locked with bike locks, and this is what we encountered on every door inside Hens Hall." And I think here I can read in my RSS feed. I actually can read the rest of the article. But this is exactly what students bring to school, and it's a bike lock chain that is recommended to them through the Columbia University website. The NYPD was pressed over a bike chain that Columbia themselves tell the students to buy, which would make sense that a lot of students would have them. You did see some Persona 3 news just recently. I don't know what it was though. And this guy who is talking about a textbook that was released by the BBC, talking about recent terrorism events and how to prevent them. But see, the thing is here, and I've seen the video with this guy, they were holding an image of a book printed out on paper.
That was wild.
And not the book itself, because if they had opened the fucking book, they would have seen it was a history book.
Mm-hmm. It's wild that Google is just out here being a thing, and the facts are just mollywhopping your ass. The way a Google search would have saved you countless time. But I really didn't figure that the police, the people who, solve crimes and, look for shit, would at least have the understanding to, do a fair Google search to figure out.
That's not what the IOF trains them to do.
Mm-hmm.
They train them to put on the cosplay as army and act and discharge firearms in a closed space when students are present.
Mm-hmm. And yet, They don't have the information. But then it's one thing to be the aggressor, the boot stomp person, on the jackbooted person on the ground. It's another thing to get on TV with nothing and be debunked with something.
Because of outside agitators.
Because again, if you have nothing to say nothing.
Look.
Like a reverse Google image, like typing into Amazon.com, what is this book? Wikipedia would have saved you time. Like
Right.
just
And then
It's the way
somebody
that-
somebody gotta go and retract that, if ever. If even.
y'all got nothing but surveillance technology. Why can't you find a book title? Like I help.
It's like I would believe that if it was anybody else.
It is at a point where when you watch these news stories, when you read these articles, you see these posts on God knows where, because most of them are coming from Twitter. I'm sure some of them are coming from Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever. But because Twitter is still a thing and that's what everybody covers, Twitter, I'm going to just call out Twitter. Where they're saying like these kids don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the NYPD shows up with, oh no, it's a book teaching a kid how to be terrorists. So that's a Xerox copy of a book cover. Have you read the book? Sir, that's a bike lock that Columbia sells. Mm-hmm. It is so interesting to see like these students don't have to say a fucking thing other than stop the genocide, free Gaza, free Palestine. And then like everybody else flap their fucking gums and show how dumb they are on national TV.
Yes. That part.
I had put something on socials because I posted it everywhere. Talking about a 9-minute video that I watched that I will never get back. And I'm pretty sure y'all seen a video like this one where you've got somebody who's trying to interview college students at these encampments and these students will not talk to them.
Yes.
They said, look, we're not the person you need to talk to. Go find the media relations person. Go find the media person. Go find the person we've designated to do interviews. And the level of militant response. So the video I watched was of a dude trying to do this shit.
Oh,
And
we absolutely need to talk about that because that comes with two separate discussions.
Oh, believe me, we get into that because again, get this out. This is what I've been sitting on for 2-3 weeks, just so you know. Mm-hmm. With the dude, so with the video I watched, it was a dude who was doing it, and he was always like, "Why won't they talk to me? Why won't they talk to me? I'm just asking a question. Why won't they talk to me?" To where he goes finds a Zionist, motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. Goes find other people. Hey, can you tell me why we're out here? Yeah, nope. Don't want to be a part of it. But then there was the one that's been making the rounds on social media was of a white woman.
I've seen that one.
Who felt she was being so bullied because nobody wanted to talk to her. She starts crying. Her feelings got hurt because nobody wants their messages misconstrued on media.
Yep.
It's already been happening.
I'm going to say here very briefly. We could say it's hurt feelings, but I feel like the cast of this show and the people who watch it.
Oh yeah, we all know
better.
it's white tears.
We will. Okay, please continue.
It's the whitest of tears.
It's important because I need to note that for clerical record referencing Central Park.
Look, if I ask for y'all to clear things up for me, I should also clear things up for everybody else too. You're right. Yes, we know it's the whitest of all fucking tears.
Yes.
Why won't they talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
because we see what the media does. They screw up fucking words all the time. They already making us look like terrorists because we read books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, those outside agitators, those people who are coming to donate food, clothing, bedding, water, medical supplies. Yes, those outside agitators. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I'm not sure if people have seen. Like, I've posted some stuff on social media. Like, I was at one of these encampments. I went to the one that was at UNC Chapel Hill. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you were there to help out, when you were there to be a part of the cause, those kids, they will love to talk to you. They will help you at like a drop of a hat. I tell people, look, if you do not believe that socialism will work, that communism and communalism will work, you should go to an encampment and just spend some time and help out. The way those kids have planned, have organized, and are executing on all of this shit it is amazing. To say that that shit could not be scaled is a fucking lie.
I think this bleeds into something that I've had a couple of. When I say offline, I do mean in the form of I have talked to people on mediums that are not connected to the internet. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that we're here. Of being like, insert ideology here. We were talking about democracy at the time, as described as a thing that is inherently flawed. And being like, well, when you let people who shouldn't be in places of power be there, any system breaks. When you let people buy their way into people making decisions that they shouldn't be making for the benefit of only themselves as opposed to everyone else, of course the system breaks. And the reason why I point this out is people being like, well, again, ideology here could never work here because why not? Why not? What is the reason? Well, no one thinks like that. But yet, here y'all are sending police over hundreds of people who think like that. So now what? Well, what do you mean about these hundreds of years of books? Because I mean, they've been writing about things like this since the 1830s. We are in 2024. So like, what are we doing here? And it's always, I am going to choose my words very carefully here and just say that is some imperialistic colonizer nonsense. It's straight colonizer nonsense to be like, these things are inherently flawed and people aren't going to think like that because if you don't want it to work because you realize that you wouldn't be able to oppress people, just say that. If the silence is uncomfortable, it should be. Just say that. If you're racist, just say that. If the system benefits you and you're quite not in some way, you're not quite ready to let go of that benefit, just say that. Otherwise, y'all wouldn't be sending military armored riot troops after people who are in a place that, mind, they have to pay to be at occupying space. Y'all wouldn't be barricading people in their dorm. What's up? What's going on? What's the tea? Talk to me about it. Speak clearly into the microphone.
Wow.
I'm going to put my soapbox back under my desk. Please continue.
Also, another thing I want to point out before we move on from this is what I have, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have noticed, since all this fuck shit began 7 months ago, is that, you know, we here at Tech Talk Thursdays, Desk Chair Annas, we do believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. However, the way it has been weaponized, whether we're talking about the all-female soldier unit in the IOF, or the fact that every time that the U.S. says veto to a UN security resolution about, hey, let's stop killing the people in Gaza, or voicing being the voice of the president, or in this case, being the voice of the NYPD, looking dumb as shit. Scroll up so you can see him. Yep, him too. These two fuckers here. Why is it that right now, black and brown people are the ones being front and center? It's almost like somebody really, really had a plan for doing some real dumb shit. Is, you know what?
Yep.
We're going to put the Rainbow Coalition right up front.
Yep. It's like, oh, I believe in the Rainbow Coalition when I'm about to do some dumb shit.
Like, this is screaming the female CEO when the company is doing poorly.
I mean, it's that. I feel like
Sure.
it needs to be. Okay, so it needs to be known a couple of things,
Excuse me.
right?
You good, Kev?
I'm about
I'm
to.
good. I'm good. I had a little spritz of musk.
Oh.
Okay.
I see. You know something? I appreciate you. I'm about to buy a book
The must is strong.
that I saw that I saw recommended on movements, like political movements for civil liberties and just general social improvement, where they succeed and where they fail. Someone has read that book, and I want to read it for detail, so I've made a note on what the book title was, but also like the summary notes that they had were in the movements that fail. There is a thing that starts off being embraced. It is a radical concept about how people should be treated, how government should work, how society should work, that people start moving toward. And then at some point, someone who is part of the system as it is offers them a position of power in that system, or people start saying, you should run for Senate, you should run for governor, you should run for Congress, you should somehow end up beholden to, whether for money or for position, beholden to the system that your very radical politics are completely on the opposite side of. And they just get co-opted into that system, right? That's the whole thing. Has been happening that way for hundreds of years, especially along the things where something really good could have happened, but it failed because someone just abandoned the things that made them the radical people that they were, that started the fires, and the fire went out. I point this out because whenever you see super conservative people from the Rainbow Mafia, from the Skittle Squad, as I've heard Crystal say over the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
When you see super conservative people talking from those standpoints, when you see that there's always a black person in the picture saying terrible things, and that there are never the A5 paper people to be seen.
Oh, you mean like, oh boy, they got laughed out?
It's one of those.
Which one? You got to be specific.
The latest one, the one with the song that he had written on about him. Oh shit. I seen him on TikTok recently, but I forgot what it was. I forgot what his name was.
If I think about it, if it comes back to me, I'll let you know. But it's one of those things of being like,
I mean, I have this giant computer here.
I feel like it just needs to be known as we continue progressing into things. When you see people like Candace Owens, for example, or Omarosa, or any of those people, like those things are intentional. I think people just see these things and they're just like, this person just, like this person spontaneously, without thought or without reason, bought into the thing, like drank the Kool-Aid and ended up over here, took the red pill, as it were. And it's one of those starting to see things a little bit more of. Sometimes it is just kind of the product of like situations, places, society, and stuff that we're in. But sometimes, but most times, and I do mean like a good 95% of the time, it's hey, we know that this is how it works and how things break down. And if we're trying to break something down, this is how we're going to do it. It's this. This is why things like what Major said about the students being like, hey, we have one person, or we have a designated group of people that talk to media people and the rest of us do not talk to them. That stuff is why movements work. People who are just like, I want to be the person in the spotlight is why they don't.
I found the guy.
And I think that's important because we talk about the people who are always on the camera when it comes to having to be like the UN, like the United States was sent to the UN and we voted no to like the ceasefire like 3 or 4 different times, and to recognizing Palestine as like a sovereign country and things like that. The people who are always there are always melanated people. They are not the only people there, but they are always the person in the shot. There's a reason for that. If they're sent to the room to say, hey, we're going to say no, there's a reason that they picked those people to be there. Hate to see it though.
Just like Rob Smith, who is the individual I was describing. This was back in December 18, 2023. Last night in Phoenix, I was confronted and surrounded by some white supremacists that don't like gays or blacks in the Republican Party. Boy, the fact that you just call us blacks. They shouted nigger and I'm not going to repeat the F word. Look.
Oh, I mean, we're not even talking about like oh wait, never mind. You're talking about this. I was thinking about a completely other different thing with student protests.
No. I was talking about this dude who got laughed out of a Turning Points.
Continue.
They shouted nigger and the F word at me to make their point. However, I served in Iraq. I never backed down, ever. Okay, dog. Like, you do you. Look, I know where I'm not wanted, and I'm not going to beat up. The incident happened while Smith was attending America Fest, hosted by Turning Point USA, a far-right organization that pushes conservative beliefs in schools, for which he is a spokesperson. Dude, don't they speak against you? But all right, dude. He is a veteran who has also written a memoir and hosts a podcast, Can't Cancel Rob Smith. I swear, the motherfuckers who are so concerned about canceling are the ones who are always talking about canceling or try to cancel people. But yeah, he went on CNN to defend his claim that the crowd hurled racial slurs despite them not being audible on the video. In an interview with CNN's Abby Phillip, Smith said he was the victim of a hate crime and that the men who surrounded him did say the N-word absolutely. Yet you're a part of the party of the hate crime. Yeah. Yep, that's your boy. That's your boy right there. Oh yeah, he is definitely committed to Trump. Like, you could die on that hill, dog. Like, that couldn't be me. That could not be me.
You got it.
That's you, dog. Let's move on from this. TikTok sues the U.S. government over its ban.
Can I just say a thing real quick?
Yes, please.
I would like to know why that's happening. Now, right, before we get into the article, I would like to know why that's happening, considering
you want some
that the
background.
president and the I know I would like some background for this reason.
Okay, yes, please.
Because I could have sworn that I espied with my bespectacled eyes that El Presidente and the Vice Presidente posted to TikTok today. So like,
what?
Undertow?
Give me a second. I need a thinking tool. One moment, please.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Obviously, they're Chinese plants.
Like, Mama, what is happening here?
Yep.
What are we doing? How are you putting forth bills, laws, signing paperwork to ban this platform from the United States and then posting on the platform?
Yes.
There are like 2 lanes of struggle here. Please pick one and stay there. I feel like consistency is asking too much here, but also consistency, please.
This is giving Jeff,
if
Jeff
you were
Johnson
going
or whatever the fuck his name was.
If you're going to have taken leave of your humanity and senses, if you're going to be an entire clown, put the whole makeup on.
Mm-hmm. The big shoes.
The big shoes, the small car, the honky nose, the whole thing. Do all of that. Like, help.
Like they jump with both big feet.
Because I mean, the reason why. Well, all right, let's give the background, and I will, in good faith, answer your question. All right, so the background on this is the fact that, hey, if you have been living under another rock, we covered this on the last, I want to say, actual news episode of Tech Talk Thursdays, that the U.S. passed a bill into law that says companies that may handle U.S. data that are in 4 countries, whether it be China, Russia, Iran, or North Korea, they have to be, the company needs to be divested from whatever, or the app needs to be divested from whatever company is controlling the app in those countries and has to be sold to a U.S. Firm or risk being blocked. And those companies that are hosting said app will be fined an ungodly amount of money per day for hosting said app if it is banned. TikTok was specifically named in this bill. Well, actually, it was named in the first bill, which did not get out of the Senate, but because we were not here for this other part, it was snuck into an appropriations bill that was going to give money to get this, Taiwan. So that way Taiwan can fight its proxy war with China. Ukraine. So that way Ukraine can fight its proxy war with Russia. And Israel. So that way Israel can continue to commit an ethnic cleansing on a piece of land that it stole and is trying to steal more of. And because, Congress people will dick rod for democracy, or, what we should call it, imperialism, colonialism, racism, and white supremacy, they passed the bill like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden signed it, and then it was done.
Mm-hmm.
To answer Sin's question in good faith as to why the president and the vice president are using the app still, is because they are really, really hoping that they can pressure ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, to divest and allow a U.S. company to own it. Therefore, they can continue to use it.
Oh, I just want to say here, just for the sake of it, that question is largely rhetorical.
I know it was.
Just like,
I know it was.
But like for the education, for the edification of everyone else, I appreciate that. I appreciate that response. It's just, now I know your ass did it. Like, I was just sitting here staring at the screen like, they really do have audacity on clearance this month.
They will always have a capacity for audacity.
But
Yep.
see, and also the reason why I answered your question in good faith is because it does bring up this point that ByteDance has clearly said, yeah, the fuck we're selling this. We would rather it go away.
Mhm.
Which now brings us to this point where TikTok is now suing the US government over the ban because it does violate a First Amendment right.
They're doing what?
TikTok is suing the US government over the ban.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional.
Which we knew they would.
Of course.
Because
It
we
is?
told them. Yeah. Because we told them that for the same reason why you can't get rid of a Parler or you can't get rid of a Truth Social, because it's First Amendment speech. Doesn't matter what is said, First Amendment speech. The issue is, for the same reason, it's First Amendment speech. You can't just get rid of an app like that.
I'm just sitting here. Once again, my thinking tool. What is wild to me in the middle of this is, you know, you can't get rid of this because of this First Amendment speech. And I'm just like, ByteDance, I hate to be the one to break this to you. I really do. But if you look at college campuses, I think that should probably give you an idea of where this lawsuit's going to go.
I mean, you'd still be surprised though.
Now, I hope they do it. I want them to have to go through the process of having to, like, literally have put in front of the entire world that they're just like, we don't do free speech here.
So, okay, so to continue this and anticipate what the US will argue is what they've been arguing, which is privacy, data privacy.
Okay. So
again, you see, and Kev, you're right there. You're right there. Show it.
Discovery,
Show it.
baby. Discovery, baby.
Remember, so many people, even Kev's senator, Reverend Warnock, said, what I've seen is damning. We need to tell people, and people still have not been told.
Right. We need to like, we seen it and it was shocking. And it's like, but what did you see? The people need to know, so we need to see something.
But it's damning.
Right.
But it's damning. Constituent, I hear you. But it is damning.
And I want you to hear me. Don't come around my neck of the woods.
It's damning.
I want you to also hear me. Your daughters ain't gonna like you after this. Because your daughters.
It's damning. We have to do the right thing. It is damning. What they are doing with our data is damning. I need you to understand.
Tell them in court. Tell them in court. Say that in court. Hand on the Bible. Say that in court. What did you see? Hand in the court. Tell it on the Bible. Tell it to Shum's face.
And yes, what I hope is
Say it on the Bible.
What I hope is TikTok's rebuttal is,
where?
So what about Meta?
Meta though.
Be like that. What was it? PlayStation with the $3.99. You're like Meta.
$2.99. So it's literally okay. Say that in court. Because Shun was like, okay, say that in court. Say that in court.
No, once again, please speak very clearly into the microphone.
In court.
Hold on. Take your time. Take your time.
Put one hand in the air. Put one hand on that Bible. Say it in court. You bad. Say it in court. I don't want to hear nothing. It's thing. Until I see you do this, You ain't got nothing to say to me.
Also, I feel like Anthony Blinken and what was it? Mitt Romney and several other politicians, like they clearly gave the game away. So we just got to introduce that into court and said, look, they literally said or let's put the ADL in there. They're the first ones.
Yeah, bro.
We have a TikTok problem.
They have Romney out there, really out there in front of a different side background at some speaking engagement, talking a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just be like, hit press play on the iPad, and be like, Chromecast it to the TV, press play, and just say,
excuse me, we use AirPlay.
Oh, I'm sorry, AirPlay.
Thank you.
AirPlay to the TV. And
well, I guess if you're using YouTube or a Google service, you could Chromecast it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just like, being pedantic.
Right, but I'm just saying, look, if you think you got the juice, say it in court. What we always say, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until you get pulled in front of Congress, and you ain't a gangster till you hit the court. You got all this to say it in court. No, keep your pork trap shut. I don't want to hear nothing from what y'all saying. Until you're willing to swear an oath, to solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, keep your pork trap shut. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't got no proof. Unless you ain't got receipts, you ain't got shit. No receipts, all shit.
What he said.
So that's why I'm 100% down where people say like, oh, we seen some stuff, but you ain't see some stuff with Meta. Cambridge Analytica see some stuff about Facebook, and you can't tell me nothing.
I mean, and now you got Musk running Twitter.
Yeah, Musk running Twitter. And then you got Musky Musk out here running Twitter, all wild and free and loose.
Yeah, he thought he ate with them Twitter papers. I said, oh, you mean that there were just legitimate requests?
He ate a kitty litter sandwich. That's what he ate.
He ate a big bag of dicks is what he ate.
Mm-hmm. Knife and fork. Yeah. Either you got proof, or you ain't got shit.
And we know they ain't got shit.
And they ain't got shit.
They ain't got shit.
All they got is shit. Bullshit.
It was damning.
All you got is bullshit. That's what you got.
It was damning, Kevin.
Straight from the pasture. Damning bullshit. That's what they got. That's why I'm always 100%. I always take. That's why I'm like, I was playing Aeoden Chronicles, and my homie Gar, this big wolf lichen dude, was like, when a politician does something with one hand, it's the other hand you got to watch out for. And I was like, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this deep level of
social commentary.
Of social commentary.
Oh, so yeah, you're right. Political commentary.
I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this biting political commentary from a dude who looked like a militarized wolf. I'm not ready.
See, nobody expects it from us big guys, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my man said this is and then he said at one time, talking about the security is tight to the skinflint's purse. I was like, bro, stop, Gar. Relax. I'm not ready for all this truth you dropping on me right now. Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, bro. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely, utterly kidding me? Talking about you seen something that it was distressing. But yet y'all still on this app.
It's damning, man.
Like I say, my city is talking about, man, we want to make more social biting content. So, but we want to do it on TikTok, but we're afraid of security concerns. But we on Facebook. We on the book face. My mama get 11 different scams on Facebook, and I'm having to tell her no, mother, no. And yet, the majority of which I'm tired of is these damn TikTok shop ads.
Oh my God.
Oh, and shadow ban. Now again, TikTok is by far not the perfect app. It neutralizes and it silences a lot of people's voices and cuts people a lot out of it. You know, the algorithm is absolutely been screwing people up.
But see,
this is true. But
see, when you beat that shit into submission, though.
But when you fight it, when you crack knuckles and bop it and beat it and hone it like a katana swordsmith. And
I was about to say you're gonna have to. I was about to say you have to dig for that vocabulary, my friend, because please do not say this stuff. Like, please don't be out here.
When you out here, this thing, I got it down to like, man, this thing is like, oh, this thing is nice where I want it to be, and that's the one thing I like about it. Though. Once it's there, and then you go to the following tab. Oh, it's like a vacation.
Nah, my following tab is about the same as my For You page.
That's what I'm saying, but it's so different and refreshing because it's like I don't follow nobody I don't like. And then when I'm like, oh wait a minute, oh somebody slipped through the cracks or somebody said some wild stuff, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block you.
I beat TikTok in the submission so bad I made it and Instagram think I was trying to convert to Islam.
You were like,
I mean, look, I do sympathize with the Palestinian plight, but I'm not trying to convert. I mean, granted, seeing what Christianity is kind of becoming in the U.S. Like, I don't subscribe to the perverted version, so I'm okay where I'm at. I don't mind learning some things.
You know, it's all about keeping an open mind and adopting different places. Like, you have your main core beliefs, but then it's also you take a few from this place, that place, this place. I tell people all the time. I say you really need to read like at least 3 good books. Like 1, the Bible. 2, Sun Tzu's The Art of War, and 3, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You read those 3 books, you'll be in a better, more open mindset when it comes to different things.
You want to know what's very funny about this is that I did not learn until recently that line, that type of thinking, is a thing that is very specifically characteristic of melanated people and has an entire term.
Yep.
Now I'm just waiting for the turn.
Oh, like I wasn't going to get into it, but if you would like to know, it's called syncretism. You can look that up on Wikipedia. That's your word of the day.
Word of the day. I'm gonna hit y'all. I'll tell you right now, I love Sun Tzu. I love Art of War. I say when the army is weak, the state is weak. But when the state is strong, the army is strong. Like, yeah. You know, I like that. I like Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu is good. Art of War got some bangers.
Like, here's the thing. I am determined that Art of War is like the 48 Laws of Power, but for people who aren't assholes.
That.
So Eastern version?
Very much so.
The Eastern version of 48 Laws of Power?
Yeah. It kind of is.
Let's see. All right, let's move on here. Dell responds to return to office resistance with VPN and badge tracking. Hey, remember the last time we talked about Dell and how they were cool with work from home for like 10 years and all of a sudden they forced everybody to come back? And if you didn't want to come back, you weren't going to get a promotion? Yeah, they still on that fuck shit. But in order to keep track of those who are coming back for those promotions, They're gonna track your badge and check your VPN usage.
Go away, we gonna check your VPN usage.
Where is it? Dell's methods for tracking hybrid workers will also reportedly include a color coding system. The Register reported that Dell plans to make weekly site visit data from its badge tracking available to employees through the corporation's human capital management software and to give them color-coded ratings that summarize their status from consistent to limited presence. The colors are blue, green, yellow, and red. A different person who reportedly works at Dell said that managers hadn't shown consistency regarding how many red flags they would consider acceptable. The confusion led the source to tell the Register it's a shit show here. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you that this is how capitalism is going to kill you all. I don't understand why it's so fucking difficult to understand.
What are we talking about here?
Surveillance capitalism. What is our...
To be fair, and I think this is important, the delineating terms is important because the surveillance thing, right, isn't a capitalistic feature, but you want to know what it is a feature of that has woven itself into everything down to the religious sections of this country.
Imperialism?
No.
Colonialism?
No.
What?
But we're getting close here. It only has 7 letters and it starts with an F. I'm just saying.
Oh. Fascism.
That whole thing.
Oh, like, wait. Let's not be afraid to say it.
No, hold on. Let's whisper the word. Let's make sure we're using the right one before we pull out the megaphone.
It's fascism, right? It's fascism, right?
Yes. If you'll allow me to make an announcement.
Go right in. Go right in.
I'm just going to say this, Major. This does come with a minor audio adjustment, so thank you.
Oh, be prepared.
Attention Tech Talk Thursday shoppers. The word of the day is in fact fascism. Thank you.
So yeah, yeah, fascism.
Like that whole thing of being surveilling things, of asking our neighbors to watch out for each other and report findings for things that are completely innocuous. Hey, if your neighbor looks like they're reading a weird book, you should tell us about it. If it looks like they're wearing a keffiyeh or whatever, we never know if those things are dangerous. You should tell us about those things.
I walked into a rural Food Lion last week with my keffiyeh on.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that on Instagram, Mastodon.
Yeah, I walked into this rural Food Lion in my hometown, and it was I left with more questions than answers because it was an old white woman who looked at me and said that's a really nice scarf. Mm-hmm. Or no, a shawl. She called it a shawl.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, thank you. And walked out the grocery store. But I'm like, you are the target demographic for Fox News at best. How did you not know? I mean, even if you didn't know what this was, how did you not recognize it and be like, either just didn't say
Major?
anything to me?
Oh, Major, I can answer that question for you. I can answer that question for you. 1 second.
And I feel like I think I know what his answer is going to be. So, Gav, how have you been? There's no need for dead air.
I've been all right. Been hanging in pretty good. Played a little V Rising. Really good game. Yeah.
Okay. Sid's back.
I am.
Also, because I was wearing it like that.
You see this?
Uh-huh.
This is one of these things that you could just like get up the street from Target. People are just used to seeing people wear things like this. They don't have the cultural awareness. They know like, oh, those people were wearing those weird scarves when we see them on TV, but they don't know enough about the culture or what those patterns look like, and they don't pay attention to those details enough to recognize it in the wild when it's 2 feet from their face. That's how that works.
Also put into perspective, in Uncharted 3, Nathan wears one of those.
A keffiyeh or a shawl?
Keffiyeh. Look at that.
Really?
Yeah. He does. So when I see that, I immediately equate that to Nathan Drake. Look up Nathan Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. He wears it. I don't, yeah. So. It's on the cover.
Oh, it's actually just on the cover.
It's on the cover.
And why are there no high-res images of this box art?
Which is wild because it's not that old, dude. It's not really not that old. See?
Oh shit!
Yeah. so.
Oh shit! That like I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to like really confirm it because I want like a super like I want it like just get really close on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fucking looks like a keffiyeh.
Yeah, he wears one, and I'm like, oh. So when I see it, it always equates it to that. Like, okay.
That's not what I wanted. Open image in a new tab. Yeah, that is like damn close.
Yeah.
If it's not a keffiyeh, it is damn close.
Yeah, because I'm like, and then all the others wear the, the keffiyeh wrapped around their heads, and yeah, it's that's a different thing, but yeah.
Kev, have you seen this one?
Yes.
Like from in the game itself?
I played it.
No, but what I'm saying, like this image here that I'm looking at.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that is definitely the fucking fishnet.
Yeah.
That is the fishnet.
Yeah.
Man's out here wearing a keffiyeh. Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, probably culturally appropriating, but like I don't know. I don't know Drake's feelings on Palestine.
I think that it was just at the time, but well,
it was like cool design on scarf, Middle East.
It's kind of the equivalent of, well, I was kind of thrown out of a plane at the time, and yeah.
It's giving. I saw Lawrence of Arabia once, and I thought the outfits were kind of cool.
It's like I needed this to kind of block the sun out of my hair.
I hate this. Yeah. I thought I found a good high resolution image, but they replaced video game Nathan Drake with movie Nathan Drake.
I don't like that, but yeah, I love that whole sequence because he has to walk into the desert.
But so yeah, I mean, to your point too, I think what it also was is the fact that I was wearing it as a shawl,
yeah,
and not wrapped around my face like they probably would have seen it on the news.
Yeah.
But yeah. More Dell news though. Hot off the presses, Dell hacked personal information of 49 million customers has allegedly been breached. Dude, if you've gotten a Dell in the past 7 years, you probably might want to protect your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dell is confirming a data breach that reportedly covers, quote, 49 million customer records, end quote, according to Bleeping Computer. While Dell is confirming that a breach occurred, the scope of the breach hasn't been confirmed. A hacker on the dark web is reportedly claiming that the breach involves the 49 million records with information that dates back 7 years ago to 2017. So yeah, if you ordered a Dell in the past 7 years, just keep an eye out. Things might get a little weird. Weirder, because I mean, I wonder if there's one person, like one adult person on the planet who has not had their information leaked.
Hard to say.
That is, you know, I'm gonna limit it to US users. I wonder if there is one US adult that has not had their data leaked. And Jack Dorsey claims that Blue Sky is repeating all the mistakes he made at Twitter.
I would like to take this moment to stake my claim in this being a Negrodamus moment.
So before we go into that, if you have not been paying attention, Jack Dorsey left the Blue Sky board and has rejoined the Elon Dick Rocket Express. Wait, no, it's Amazon with the Dick Rocket, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dorsey did an interview with Mike Solana over at the Founders Fund, where he states that he made two claims that Blue Sky was just losing its way. One, he says that he never intended Blue Sky to be an independent company with its own board and stock and other vestiges of a corporate entity. Blue Sky was spun out of Twitter as a public benefit corporation in 2022. Instead, his plan was for Twitter to be the first client to take advantage of the open source protocol Blue Sky created, which is the AT protocol. Number two, and this is the one that we should be concerned about. The fact that Blue Sky has some form of content moderation and has occasionally banned users for things like using racial slurs in their usernames. Quote, people started seeing Blue Sky as something to run to away from Twitter, Dorsey said. It's the thing that's not Twitter, and therefore it's great. And Blue Sky saw this excess of people from Twitter show up, and it was very, very common crowd. It was a very, very common crowd. But little by little, they started asking Jay and the team for moderation tools and to kick people off. And unfortunately, they followed through with it. That was the second moment I thought, nope, this is literally repeating all the mistakes we made as a company.
By moderation tools?
By making a
moderation tools and not being able to make racist names, a thing that you typically cannot do on, I don't know, video games. Just, you know,
Chalet.
I remember when people were talking about platforms to migrate to, they were just like, I'm thinking about going to Blue Sky. Do I have a Blue Sky thing? I do. You can find me at Cinziak at Blue Sky or what have you. I can't remember what the name of the instance is. But more importantly, I looked at a bunch of people, and I just did that just to hold the name in case something happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at this and I went, y'all realize that the person who did this, like, you see all this fuckery over here? Like, I know that, you know, like, Elon is like a whole piece of shit human, and I think like y'all can dunk on him all day long. I do not care. I have no feelings about that. I have no qualms. But I was also like, there were several years of nonsense and fuckery before that, and that's all Jack.
Yes.
Jack was over here meditating. Jack was over here meditating on the tip of South Africa on appropriated land or whatever, and not paying attention to his moderation policies. And so Elon picked this up, and now everybody's just kind of like, the reason that policies are the way they are is purely because of Elon. Elon made them worse, but he did not make them. Like, the issues that existed with Twitter are magnified under his watch and leadership. He did not cause them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that needs to be pointed out. Because when I saw this whole thing with Blue Sky, I'm just like, the same guy that made this mess over here just left and picked another place to go make a mess, and y'all have a problem with this? Like, he's the same person, right? Y'all understand this. P.S. I'm going to, like, put a little sidebar here, right? Cute little sidebar. You know that whole thing that people get really upset about when it's kind of like, well, this person did something a really long time ago and we need to forgive them. Y'all just want to punish them forever and y'all don't want to let them grow or evolve or whatever. Jack is the reason why we have people like that just like dig up your tweets from 2004 when you say something reckless. That's why. Because people like Jack exist. Now, back to the main point. I looked at this and went, so the guy who made Twitter and was responsible for how all that stuff went down, went over here and went and made another platform. And that person is a person who wasn't as outspoken as Elon was, but was just like, yeah, this should be like a place where people are just free to say the things that they want. And I cannot understand, while I understand like freedom of expression and hell, even very radical self-expression, I will never understand the amount of people who cape for the ability to just be shitheels.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that part.
The idea of like a web community being inclusive doesn't mean that everybody gets to be in there. You understand that, right? If you come into, I am a very welcoming person, generally speaking. But if you come into my house and you act an ass and I have you removed, that doesn't make me not inclusive anymore. You don't get to be in my house and be a dick at the same time. Like, if you are on a platform and you have, it's not like your people who work for Blue Sky or who do things for Blue Sky went and picked and chose, oh, well, this person doesn't have a username I don't like, so we're gonna remove them. This person said something I don't like. This person pissed me off one day by posting this thing from YouTube and I'm gonna remove them. Your community as a whole went, that's some bullshit and we don't want that in this space that we're a part of. Do something about this. And the people who should have responded appropriately by going, oh, okay, well, since y'all as a collective have said this is not a thing that we want, we have removed it. And your response was to go, I don't like that.
I think we should be careful of saying like people wanted something removed that they did not want. It was more like, it's still like within reason. Because it's not like, oh no, there are people with blue in the name. We need to get rid of all the people with the name blue.
I mean, the thing is,
it's they did not feel safe in a space with people who were coming in with racial slurs, who were doing shitty fucking things. And it's like,
now,
I don't know, as a collective society, when we want to be welcoming to a bunch of people, we're not going to hold space for those who want to not be welcoming.
This is the one thing I want to say there is, and like, I'm not saying that you're wrong as much as it is silly that even has to be a distinctive point that we have to make.
Unfortunately, yeah, though.
That's silly. I refuse. Like, if I'm over here telling you that people are being removed because they're acting an ass, we know that that we're not removing people because they decided that they wanted the word yellow in their name or that they had their username named after flowers. Like, you decided that you wanted to type a slur in the username bar and the system told you no.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, this is one of those things that people complained about previously on Twitter, and it was assumed that Jack took that lesson to heart about what people did not want on their platforms when they moved. There was an assumption that there was a learning happening here.
He wasn't as rich and he didn't have as big a beard then.
Like, there was I think there was an assumption that when he left to go make Blue Sky, that he took everything that made Twitter bad and decided to make up.
Okay, so just so we're clear, he did not go make Blue Sky.
Well, I mean, that's the story that people are going to tell, whether it did, whether he did or not. That's how people are going to tell it.
I guess some people will. I know that, again, from what I'm following, like, people just see him as the money man.
Yeah.
So
like, he was just the money man. Like, people are going to look at Jay, and I can't remember what her name is. Maybe if I do a control F search,
It's like he was.
it just says J. So he just refers to her as J, but the CEO of Blue Sky is definitely somebody else.
Yeah.
But like, it's this idea that like Jack is associated with this site. Surely he's going to take the lessons that he learned in moderating this platform and use it to not repeat the things that are like bothered people, pissed people off, made them upset, and all this other stuff. And then he got over there and just kind of like, y'all aren't racist enough for me. I need this to be like the most toxic Call of Duty lobby ever made.
Well, I mean, no, I felt like he took the lessons he learned from Twitter and said, hey, you know, now that I am newly minted tech bro libertarian, I want to start over and create that thing again. I want to create the libertarian version of Twitter using this technology that I've been funding for over 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what that was. But the reason why it did not turn out that way is because, again, he was just the money man. He was just on the board. He can make some decisions, but the day-to-day was left to Jay and the rest of her team. And again,
And it is
like
wild
if
to
you're
me
putting
that
a
it
woman,
pisses people.
I feel like if you were putting a woman in the front seat of a company that she gets to mold in her image,
Of
she
course,
ain't
it's
the
gonna
Linda
be.
Yacarino. She ain't gonna be Linda Yacarino.
No.
She is not.
She's the millennial girl boss who's like, no, I want it to be a safe place for me and my girlies. I know that sounded terrible, but follow me.
And I mean, no, like that. Like the thing is, when people get to go and build those platforms like that, and they are like marginalized people in most ways,
And yes,
that is what is and should happen. And the fact that this upsets you while you are going to South Africa on meditative trips is upsetting to me and my homegirls.
Yeah, so this is the Blue Sky CEO, Jay Graber. So, yeah.
Absolute goofiness from start to finish. Like I want to understand somewhat, but I don't. And I don't know if I can.
The sooner we stop trying to understand white tech bros, the better we'll be.
And well, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those, I want to understand it enough to hear it and have something more to say in that conversation than just, so girl, anyway, because that's what it feels like every time one of these people appears.
Yeah.
Now, what do we want to say about the next like couple of years of it being like Elon slowly fading into the background until he doesn't have to be in charge of Twitter anymore?
He won't.
What if he does?
He won't.
He won't step back. He won't.
He bought his way into Tesla and won't go away.
Yeah.
He founded SpaceX. Okay, that one. He's not that. Okay, SpaceX. I don't know. It seems like when he founds a company, he fades away. But when he buys his way in, nah. I don't see Elon going away from Twitter because it's Twitter. He's on Twitter.
Quick question. Where was his what is his position in Starlink?
Well, that's a Blue Sky. That's a Blue Sky company. So I mean, not Blue Sky, but Skylit. No, fuck it, SpaceX. Shit.
Oh, that's offshoot SpaceX.
Yeah, that's an offshoot of SpaceX.
Okay, so also I would say found. Doug say, well,
yeah, things he founds, he is barely there, but the things he buys.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
But no, this man wants too much attention. He wants all eyes on him because he wants people. He wants people to believe that he is the smartest person in the room at all times.
Yes.
So even like I feel like even with SpaceX, even though we don't see him talk about SpaceX as much, mainly because it's not in as much trouble, it's actually success. It's relatively successful compared to Tesla and Twitter.
Yes. Because
they are regularly sending shit to space and kind of nailing it when it comes to reusable rockets and shit.
Yeah. The thing though is like when it came to like Tesla was like, okay, kind of hard to make car companies, kind of hard to make a car company, especially an electric car company. When you're fighting to when it's like a constant fight and battle to get materials, specifically for the main part of your car is the batteries for the engine to make it go. That's always the hard part, getting the materials and whatnot. But with Twitter don't make no money. Jack told him, Twitter don't make no money. It barely is it's just enough to keep the lights on, keep the bills paid, and pay the server space. That's it. It's not a profitable company. He bought that as a passion project because he wanted to own something that he's clearly always on and he's addicted to. And now it's like it's whooping his ass, but he can't not deal with it because
he's gonna lose all that damn money.
Because but like I said, he lost all that. Oh, that money's gone. That money was gone year one. Year one, probably first 6 months, that money was gone. Because again, Twitter don't make no money. Twitter is not. It was overvalued. It was highly overvalued. That thing should have been like a big. Twitter should have been like the equivalent of like Bing Bong or Boing Boing. What is it? Boing Boing?
Boing Boing?
Oh, yeah, Boing Boing. Yeah, it's equivalent of Boing Boing. It's about as old and about as worth as much. Yeah, it's about as old and it's about as worth as much. Oh, you about to keep it going? Oh, here you go. Yeah. So, yeah. About as old, like I say again, it's old and it's about as worth as much. It was heavily overvalued. He paid way too much money for it, and then he got stuck with it to the point where he wanted to back out of it. That's the current thing to me. Like, it was a passion project, and he wanted to buy it, and he saw something and needed it. And yeah, so I'm just kind of floored at the fact that I mean, at some point it's going to run out of, like I said, well, not so much it's going to run out of money, it has run out of money. That's why he's doing all that like BOGO, buy 15 for $1. Like pay for checks, don't pay for checks, pay the high checks, can't hide checks, pay for verification, yada 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 yada. Because again, my man, he ain't got it. He's worth it, but he ain't got it. Because most billionaires don't have it. They're worth billions, but they don't own billions. But yeah, that's my little Twitter rant, real quick.
Are you ready to divest from Twitter?
I don't know.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm like the only time that I'm really on Twitter now is like, what are my people doing on Twitter? And I need to add the studio, some of the studios that I got game keys for. Like I did a hey guys, shout out to V Rising and Stunlock Studios and Lurk It for the key. Appreciate you. And then kind of like, but I can do that on Threads, and I can do that on Blue Sky, and I can also do that on I've been doing that on Mastodon. So just kind of give people coverage of the content of which I make, and also keep up with the indie devs that are holding on to it. So I am not as like invested. I am not as invested in Twitter as I used to be, but I am like, I have a widely spread portfolio. I'm mostly on Blue Sky, reading the news on Blue Sky as opposed to reading the shenanigans on Twitter. But yeah.
So speaking of divesting, our very own Cinziak, aka East Coast Merge, wrote an article last week about divestment versus social media. A hard battle on a good day.
I did. That is the very title of that read, which I recommend that you read when you have time and brain space to read it. Because listen, I get it. We would also like a nap at this moment in time.
Which I did so for so many days. It was on my laptop screen. It was like, no, this seems like a lot. I like to read long form things on my iPad, but that was also an excuse just not to read it then.
And I mean, honestly, that's fair.
But eventually I did sit down up here, took my iPad out and actually did read through it. And it was really good. Again, like Sid and I, like we have talked about this. And I know we talked about it a little bit before, like as he was formulating his thoughts for the article. But it was at the same point after I finished it, and this I want to say, because I do want to apologize for pressing you on it on this point. Because again, like I said, we talked about it because you showed me your notes and whatnot. And it's very early stage. We talked about it for a bit, and then we had the show. But it was after reading it, I realized that, wait a second, I've been telling people this same fucking thing. Why is it that I'm not expecting this of Sin either? Why am I holding this to some different standard? And it's like, and it made me feel bad, but not like, oh, I'm a terrible person. Well, no, a little bit. It was a little bit of that. There's a little bit of I'm a terrible person, but it was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. And it's like, yeah, like it was actually a good fucking read. Because it is exactly what I have been telling people too when Elon first bought Twitter. And I was like, you know what? Look, go to Mastodon, don't go to Mastodon. And this was before Blue Sky, like you had to get invites for Blue Sky and Threads was not a thing. Like go to Mastodon, don't go to Mastodon. Don't go to the Fediverse, don't go to the Fediverse. I don't give a shit. Just leave fucking Twitter. And I forgot that's who I was at the beginning. And like, it's okay, yeah, there's some things I do need to walk back. Need to go back to where I originally was, where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. If you leave, you leave. Because I left Twitter and I honestly don't give any shits about who I left on Twitter. It's not like, I mean, I go back occasionally just to see who's there. But yeah, it's like, do whatever.
And he didn't leave me behind because he still gets to talk to me. So,
which is the thing I was afraid I was, and I think that was the thing. What I was afraid I was going to miss somebody dear that I was able to talk to through social media, even though we literally do this show every week and we can connect through Discord. Forget these things. Stop, Kevin. I see you. I know. I am admitting I have made several mistakes. Please stop pointing them out to me. I can see them.
So clip at 10:02.
I got you. I hit the clip button. It's gonna be there. It will already exist. I have hit it, but just in case I missed it, sure.
I want to make these notes because this is a random aside. I keep thinking about coming back here and being like, I need to make clips of this show so that we can use them for
you weren't able to do that until like 2 weeks ago.
Starting like people are just like, what's your show like? Or if we want to do like hey, this is what you're missing where you're not here. Yeah. I would like to make clips of these things.
I watched the unsubscribers video recently on my YouTube channel. And just listen to us talk about that graphics card. I was like, oh man, I missed that. Or we don't want to change that jingle. We want what was the quote about the stuff that folds?
It's like we don't want we'll take the money that jingles, but we really would prefer the money that folds.
It's just like we appreciate the money that jingles, but we love the money that folds.
Lisa McDowell from Coming to America. High five.
So for the audience, right? For those of you listening at home, I want you to you can obviously read this in the article, but you get spicy commentary because I'm here and I'm live and I'm talking to you. So the whole premise of the article started because I was watching someone who goes by the username YK Reborn on Instagram. They are a person who has a company that helps organizations kind of reorganize themselves in a way that's more oriented toward equality and tech-related justice. Like all of their stuff is in things like how to make sure that the tech that you're using and the ways that you use it don't, like contribute to things like imperialism, colonialism, racism, sexism, all of that nonsense that we don't like. They have like a whole company about that. I linked those in the article for their work. But they have like an Instagram page where they talk about small things like tech justice, like, hey, these things are doing stuff where they're doing like biometric scans at the airport. You should opt out of it. Here's a reason why. Here are technologies that are going on that are not encrypted. You should not use them. Here are things that you should use instead, and that type of thing. And the thing that came up most recently with stuff was them talking about the use of WhatsApp as a platform. So I listened to the whole video. I had a couple of thoughts about it, but as usual, it's just like one of those, I listen to things, I ruminate on them, I come back to them later. I read the comments. The comments were mostly from people who live in places other than the United States. So you had a lot of people who lived in South America, who lived in Africa, or just like lived in other places in the world in general, who are just kind of like, WhatsApp is kind of central to like all of our communications, period, for a lot of things. And it's so deeply entrenched in our culture that if I were to uproot myself from that for the sake of divestment, I wouldn't have a way to communicate with people. What do we do about that? Because it's not like, it's one of those, in some places, it's so entrenched that people have WhatsApp as opposed to a phone. Like, if I quit social media altogether and got off the internet today, I can dial 10 numbers and still be in contact with Major and Kevin. There are people who live in places where if you don't have WhatsApp, you can't do that. That's a problem. So, like I remember us talking last year too about how it was kind of same thing with trying to get out of things like Facebook and Meta, because some people live places where because they don't have some of the dwindling protections that we do in the United States when it comes to technology and access to information, Facebook is the only internet they have.
Keep in mind that's also parts of the US now too.
And so there was a whole thing of me sitting here and reading the comments and thinking about just the idea of, we do not want to financially support the systems. We don't want to give them reach. We want to decrease the amount of users that they have, those types of things. But that means at some point you have to leave. So we have to talk about what that means. A lot of people are just like, well, what's the solution then? I'm always of two minds whenever someone asks that question, because sometimes it's a genuine question of like, I really don't know what to do. But sometimes people are just like, I don't feel like being uncomfortable, so you need to give me like a pre-prepared solution for how to deal with this problem. We're going to hand wave that for a second. We're going to I want to just talk about situations where people are like, I genuinely don't know how to approach this. What should I do? Because when people talk about concept of investment, they're talking about you are making a well-considered choice to uproot yourself from a whole bunch of things that you normally use that connect you to things, whatever those are, and moving yourself elsewhere where other people may not be for some time. I know that I probably know of people who use Signal, but I don't know who those people are right now. If I were to do that, right? Except for Major, but Major, we know because you are out in these streets, Signal is almost a requirement for that. So there's that, right? But if we consider WhatsApp as a starting point, then I have to think about what the rest of it looks like. Because when it comes to divestment, it's something that, again, you have to do as a well-considered thing, but it has layers. That means in any situation where I'm able to remove myself from the tech and the related systems of nonsense that are used to contribute to oppression around the world, I should consider whether or not I want to be there. So that's WhatsApp, but that's also things like me being on Twitter, me being on Facebook, me being on Discord with all of their AI bullshit that they have going on half the time, web browsers that I use, mail clients that I use, email clients that I use, the phone that I use. And, it's one of those, it's a thing that people will suggest to you, and it comes from a good place. It's important. It's a, hey, company A is on some bullshit. You should not do that. But it's also like, these companies have spent a very long time being so entrenched in the things that we do that it's almost impossible for you to leave them completely without you also having to run the risk of throwing everything out. Like having to explain to my mom, like, don't email me. Like, if you need me to know things, you better text me because you can't email me. Or being like, hey, Tech Talk crew, I love y'all so much, but my internet is literally run by AT&T. So I don't know what we're gonna do there, right? And it sounds extreme, but the thing is, if we are going to apply enough pressure to these companies, corporations, and things like that to get them to budge, you have to have several people who take actions that go that far. So it's kind of like, well, like, what do you do? Now the answer to that is you do what you can. So like,
Granddad.
girl, you can like find your local coffee shop and don't go to Starbucks if you can do that. Like, y'all don't, I promise y'all don't need McDonald's. You don't, like, it's that, right?
Yes.
But it's having to whittle things down to what is necessary, what could replace it. Are those replacements just as bad or worse? Making sure that they're not complicit in some other nonsense and some other stuff in some other way. And then being like, now how do I get people to move here? But it's also like, and this is the important part about that conversation. When I say these things to people, I try to say them from the standpoint of, I understand what I'm asking you and that it's hard. There's empathy that request comes with, because I know that you just can't uproot all of it all at once. That's going to take time, and some of it you might not be able to go as far as I can. If you are a person who is disabled and you need people to bring things to your house because you cannot walk up and down stairs, walk for hours, that type of thing, especially in a country that regularly puts you in places to catch diseases that will leave you out here disabled. Mm-hmm. I cannot reasonably ask you to do the things that I can if I were to be like, I never want to shop at Amazon again. It'll be hard, but it's manageable for me in a way that is not manageable for other people. And I have to think about that too. So thinking about how do we talk about it? How do we approach it and stuff? And that article is mostly just let's start talking about this and figure out how we want to do that and how we want to treat each other with compassion while we're trying to figure that out.
Right.
I'm trying to find...
And Wild Major's looking for that, especially because, it's a thing that we forget, we know, but we forget all the time. Companies have arranged things. Capitalism has us fucked up in such a way that it has a stranglehold on all the stuff that we get or want to get or anything. You want to know what stuff I read today? They were just here are the things that for places like the BDS movement suggest as a pressure point for trying to move the needle more toward justice by pulling ourselves away from the influence of these companies. Things that I was asked to check on today. Where are you buying your apples from?
There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
And I'm just like, apples? Yo, I'm tired. You asked me to think about apples today. Mm-hmm. I have to think about apples, protein shakes, where I'm getting cups, where I'm getting bowls, where I'm getting cat food. Yes. It's just a lot. It's
just exhausting. Yeah, I get it.
And see, this is why, y'all you're bringing up good points where it's one, we have to remember there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Excuse me. So yeah, honestly, to keep it a band in a buck, keep it 100%, keep it 100. Kev, insert Kev. Phrase here.
Kevisms here.
Throw a regular degular in there just
keep it all regular degular for you. But no, seriously, it is really hard to sit there and say, all right, I want to source everything that I do ethically.
Yes.
As a creator, that is impossible.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you create oil paintings. And then I'm pretty sure the pigments or the water you use could just be, or the paper you source could
Right.
just be some fuck shit, right?
Because like
So-
I'm just sitting here thinking about the fact that all three of us are in tech, and I don't even want to talk about hardware.
It's that. See, that's what I look at it like. Since all this has happened with Israel
Yeah.
and Palestine,
Yeah.
I have been unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have bought nothing new, and it's like,
It's
great,
like-
I've been absolved. I'm
Right.
good, but I know that there is eventually something is going to break. Like, well, my TV broke, right? Eventually, I would like to replace it. I know I'm fucked at that point, right? But see, that's why, especially for for the Israel, for Palestine, to support Palestine, having something like the BDS movement, the boycott, divest, and sanction movement, which I have an image from them over here to my on the left, it kind of breaks up how we can sit there and boycott, where it's not like we could go after every single company that may support Israel. That's going to be terrible because people need things. So here we have it broken up to where it's like, all right, organic targets, the things you can easily do, things you could probably just not have to replace, like McDonald's and Burger King. Or I don't know, go to a Wendy's or Target. Not Target, but fuck it, what am I thinking? Arby's maybe? I don't know. Hardee's?
Like,
Go to Little Caesars. If you want pizza, go.
Yeah,
no,
like, yeah, because like Domino's,
slide
Papa
over to the
John's,
cookout.
and Pizza Hut are on the list. So yeah, like go to Little Caesars. Or again, like for a lot of these places, try local.
Right.
Like Starbucks isn't on this list, but Starbucks was already on some fuck shit for something else.
Oh, I
Go
know.
to a local coffee shop.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A isn't on it. I don't know what. Well, I don't know. I feel like people who are white evangelicals are also Zionists.
Okay, so Merge, I do want you to know they walked that shit back because they got clapped up with such speed and haste.
Yeah, that was another Helldivers 2 moment.
That was a Helldivers 2 situation. They grand opening, grand closing. They didn't even make it a whole 24 hours.
Didn't even clear like 2 days. It was like boom, it was done. It was
You
clear.
know something? Fair. I see you, Merge. You're just like, it's the principle though.
He
It
is
was like-
right, but also I can say, look, Wendy's was not bombing, was not giving meals to soldiers who were bombing children. I will gladly play a surge price if it means it is not going to people who are bombing children.
I do truly respect Merge for being like, yeah, but still no.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, the fact that you tried it was enough for me. Like, and I'm like, the fact that you made that press release.
Look, my fast food spot of choice is fucking Sheetz. So,
Like, I mean, like I said, I like a good Wendy's. I love Zaxby's. Zaxby's is good. The milkshakes,
they are
the wings and things.
they're not as fundamental Christians. I think it depends on who, because I think those are like franchise locations. It depends on who's running the Zaxby's. So I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, yeah, it really does break down to the friend. It's not like the culture, like.
Yeah, like it's not Chick-fil-A, that's for sure.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A is a culture. Zaxby's
Cult.
is like, we are literally open on Sundays. Pull up. It's like, we are a business, all right? We are not an ideology.
Also,
we will sell you bone-in chicken wings on Sunday.
Also, Wix. Hey, don't support Wix. Support somebody local. Support a small business.
Fort Major's house.
Huh.
Yeah.
I can't build your website, but I can host it.
You can host it. Go to Squarespace. Maybe.
No.
No. Never mind. No. You're right.
But
Right.
like with pressure targets, and this is where we get into like the big tech companies. Like, not saying, hey, don't boycott all of this. Like, Disney's on this list, but Disney's on this list because of Marvel, because the new Captain America movie features an Israeli superhero.
Yeah, you can literally just be like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Like, or just be like, nah, I'm not watching it. Like,
Yeah, like I cut out Marvel, period. But then again, I think everybody's fucking caught out Marvel. I don't know. I might brush against it.
Well, except
for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Like
X-Men,
some people
X-Men
have
97.
97.
Ooh, Jesus.
Say what?
X-Men 97.
Yeah, like look, I've been looking at that.
It's real hard.
My chest. No, go ahead and jump in. If you want to run it.
Nah,
look.
I'm good. I don't have time for TV. I tried to watch Shogun last weekend. Got 3 episodes in and said, this is a great show. But then also realized what I do when I watch TV, and it is like watching a subbed anime. I just can't do it.
Bro, we will literally have a tech talk. We will have a tech talk like X-Men 97. Like
I'll look at a clip
whatever.
from every now and like that fucking Magneto clip about terrorists and who's running governments and shit. I was like, okay, that was a fucking bar.
I mean, the literal
That was a fucking bar.
I mean, the second, was it the second episode? It was the second episode. The second episode was a complete and utter bop. And it was a bar. Like his whole speech to the UN was a bar. Was literally he ate and crushed. He ate and left none.
Lick the plate. Just lick the plate.
With a literal shoulder length bust down.
That's right. He did have the hair, bro.
And he had the hair. He had the hair down.
What is happening?
He had the comic book appropriate suit, and he said, "Look, what I'm finna tell you is I have nothing but contempt for you because y'all came for me twice. One for what I was and what I am, and you came for me twice. But all I did was anything that I did was to keep y'all away from me that y'all ain't tried to do to me first. I ain't did nothing that y'all ain't tried to do to me first. Twice." And when I seen that episode and he had the numbers on his arm. He had the numbers on his arm. I was like, whatever he do, you deserved it.
Yeah.
But like when we talk about this, it's just like pulling away from all of that. You know what I mean?
So this right here, like, so yeah, going back to the pressure targets, yeah. So it's like, it's not saying like, it's in a way to where it's like, hey, we know these are intrinsic. Like you can't get away from Disney, you cannot get away from Amazon, you cannot get away from Google.
Right.
But it's like, be cognizant, know what's going on. Again, because we pointed out, especially with Google and Amazon and Project Nimbus, and it still baffles me to this day that when people are talking about Project Nimbus, and it's like, I don't know if the employees know this, but like I know that the mainstream media, either they know it and they're not talking about it, or they just really don't know either. But Amazon and Google legally are bound to Israel. They cannot leave. Like, under threat of protest, Google and Amazon can't do a damn thing. And it's like, I'm watching it happen and I'm like, yo, Google, you've got more money than God. Amazon, you got more money than God. You can pay whatever fine. It is whatever it is. You can divest from this.
That's dropping the buckets.
It is drops in the bucket, but it's like you're looking at the lawyers, like looking at that legal framing and then also money that they're probably getting from this. And it's like, but our hands are tied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, yeah.
So it's a thing of like, sure, for me personally, I can move from Google, I can move from Amazon about as much as I can. There are things that I still have to do on Google because that's where everybody else is. I can't force everybody to leave Google.
Right.
There are things that still require Amazon services. Again, like they are the #1 retailer in the world for one. Also AWS.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Also GCP.
Mm-hmm. But
literally the things that are propping up Israel right now. There are things that like you can't get away from with these entities, but trying to divest as much as you can from it. And that's what I like about BDS, because it's not saying like, yeah, you got to drop everything and just like live life like a fucking hermit.
Yeah.
But it's like being cognizant and aware of these companies that are doing business with Israel in some capacity. Like Puma, I think is taken off the. I don't know if Puma is being taken off the list. I don't.
It isn't. They're still on there.
I mean, because I can still see it here, but I know that Puma had divested early from Israel, which for me it was like, okay, that works. But hey, I don't buy Puma. My wife does, and I was shaming her with her Puma a Puma wear, but then I let her go when Puma pulled out. But like HP, like, I mean, granted, sure, I could buy Brother printers. I look at yes, I own an HP printer, but I will never buy a new one. That's not because of Israel. It's because HP is a fucking shitty ass company.
That part. As also someone who owns an HP printer, I'm ready to go Office Space on it the moment it goes bad.
It's going to be Brother or Canon now at this point.
Yeah.
It's almost laughable at this point, because I'm just like, there was a time when it's kind of like, I want that little cow computer. Now you're just like, you know what? That was Gateway, by the way. But now,
Gateway. I know what you thought with. But
now I'm sitting here just like, is there anybody who cares about computers who buys HP computers?
I mean, they advertise hard in the esports scene.
Oh yeah,
HP omens.
Them omens.
I would say like they're probably not buy HP towers, but laptops probably.
I mean, yeah.
Like, HP has been huge in the laptop space.
Yeah, my cousin reached out and was like, "What kind of computer should I look into for, like, GTA RP?" And I was like, "NZXT." I was like, I didn't even think about HP. I didn't think about HP. I didn't think about no Dell. I didn't think about Alienware. I immediately was like, NZXT? Main Gear and NZXT.
Now remember, get those PCs built with Intel. I mean, not Intel, AMD.
And
NVIDIA. Because Intel is on the list.
Oh, dang.
But it's things like that which I appreciate that they had on that list, and they were just like, listen,
that's right, yeah.
We don't need to like extract ourselves. We don't need to like extract ourselves from every single thing. There are a couple of things that are high visibility. If we focus these,
right,
it'll put pressure on other people to follow suit, because it'll be things like, it's very Sun Tzu, because I know that this is a thing that Kevin enjoys, of being like, hey, if you take out this one really visible target that everybody thinks is invincible, other people are probably a lot less are just like, all right, we're not trying to catch those hands, so what do we got to do? And that's kind of the idea for how they've structured like what things to boycott or divest from, and so on.
Which this chart on the left here will show.
So
we've been doing it before, like say, all right, we're just gonna choose the things and nothing really happens. But you see what happens when everybody targets on specific things, like Starbucks, like McDonald's. Like they have had very, very visible hits. Well, I think Starbucks has had to pull out of Israel. McDonald's is pulling out of Israel.
And they're just like, now, if you have things for personal reasons that you're just like, also fuck these people, I will not be buying stuff from them either, then like they were just like, by all means, the more the merrier. But if you want to ask what we're focusing on, it's these things.
Like I said, Chick-fil-A is not on this list, but Chick-fil-A is on my list.
Chick-fil-A is always on my list.
Chick-fil-A, for obvious reasons, is always on my list, and they are half a mile away from me.
Bigot chicken.
Put Cracker Barrel on that list too.
Okay. Look. Now we.
Kevin, I'm already here. That place makes me uncomfortable.
This is why I order out and bring it to my house.
Like I've been in there twice, both time garbage. Except for that one time when my bestie came down and we ate at Cracker Barrel twice, and the fish was I had the fish. That's the fried fish. Fish was good. I had the fried fish. The fried fish was good, and then we went back for breakfast, and I had the pancakes. And the pancakes with the crispy edges.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was really good. And they got the little jar of salt, the little jar of syrup. I was like, yeah, that was good. That was good. Outside of that, never.
But the chicken is so good.
Man.
I do want to take some time because I know we was talking for a little bit on this. But hey, just want to remind you all that this show, or look, if you look for it, it's going to be under my name. But I am still saying this show, Tech Talk Thursdays, because it's literally the only thing that's been on this channel. It is majority of this content on this channel is being nominated for the Chatterbox Award for BIPOC Streamer Awards. Please go check us out. The link is somewhere in the chat. It got buried. Oh, there it is. Go to BIPOCStreamerAwards.blogspot.com where you can find the vote here link and you can go vote.
Hold on for a moment. You use Nightbot, right?
No, I use my homegrown solution.
Okay.
Well, what's up?
I was going to say you should just put in the command for that.
Oh shit, I do have a command. What am I thinking? I was talking about that earlier and I totally forgot I do have that. Yeah, there it goes.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So definitely go over there. I do want to say the GOAT. The GOAT has been nominated for several awards.
Shut the front door.
Several.
Oh, yeah.
This will technically be another one for her.
Another one. Thank you.
Another one.
Another one. Thank you. Another one.
Another one. Thank you.
So definitely, please go vote. Get share with your friends, your colleagues. Share the podcast. Tell them it's dope, and then tell them to go vote for us. Just do all of that.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
In gaming news, wait.
Yes.
Oh, this one wasn't meant for the show. This one was meant for me. NVIDIA did do something to make it easier to use GeForce Now on a Steam Deck. It involves using a browser and doing all the weird things to play the games in a browser on the Steam Deck, but they wrote a script that does everything for you so that way you don't have to do all that fuck shit. Which I do want to take a look at that script and see if I can rewrite it to make it work with Microsoft too, and then just like, hey, I've wrote it for Microsoft. No, it still is using a browser thing. For me, again, like I'm still streaming shit from my PC, so yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess since we're here, what's in gaming news?
Well, what's actually in gaming news is, boy, and it's only Microsoft at this point.
Only Microsoft.
Only Microsoft and the fuck shit they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox shuts down Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and Alpha Dog.
Mm-hmm.
The latest games coming from those studios, Arcane Austin made Redfall. Tango Gameworks put out Hi-Fi Rush, and Alpha Dog made Mighty Doom. Which one of those game studios sounds like they do not belong?
Arcane Austin.
I'm going to say all of them, but specifically, I'm going to say Tango Gameworks.
Yeah,
if you're talking about of all the studios who made games that won awards and actually made Microsoft money,
that were actually good.
That works good. Yeah, Tango Gameworks should not have been cut, but here we are.
That right there really ticked me off, and then also ticked me off because I heard reports about that one of the reasons why Tango Gameworks was shut down because they had like projects years in advance, and they shut them down because they had projects years in advance. Like every single game studio has, and every part of the industry has things that are created years ahead, that are not out yet. Why would we close down studios for having games that are not out yet? Should we not close down Bethesda because we don't have an Elder Scrolls 6 yet? Should we close down Obsidian because Avowed hasn't come out yet? Should we close down the Collective because they have not made a freaking game Gears of War anything yet since what, 6?
5.
5. I'm sorry. 5? Where is 6? What kind of bull crap is that?
See, he thought 6 was already out, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't even out. And that's the level. That is the utteral level. Is games are made years in advance. They're not going to come out within the next year, 2 years. Xbox is so in hurry for games, in such a dire need for games, that if games don't sell, the number of Xboxes, they're literally like, oh, it's not worth the trouble. But yet you bought them.
They're not last I heard, they were not focused on console sales. They're still more on the services side of things.
Right. So why would you close the studios down? Why would you close down the studios that you need to make the games that you need, that you bought? Hi-Fi Rush is actually doing really good. It's also going to be Hi-Fi Rush is also going to be on PlayStation 5. It's also going to be on Sony.
Which also does not make any fucking sense right now.
It makes no sense. So again, why would you close down Tango Works for literally making games? Good games. Games that people liked. Games that won awards. Like Arcane Austin, feel bad for the people who liked Prey. You're not going to get a sequel. Redfall sucked. Let's go on with that. Alpha, what was it? Alpha Dog? That was mobile games, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Mighty Doom was Mighty Doom was a mobile game.
Yeah, like mobile games. So that's no real big loss because there's like 11 different mobile games on. So again, the one thing that really ticked me off was Tango Game Work. The people that actually make good games, that made you a surprise hit. That gave the Xbox girlies something to hang on to. And you just close down the whole studio. That's what I can say. Uncle Phil, Uncle Phil, Mr. Booty.
He is on fucking thin ice. I feel like Phil Spencer and Matt Booty on fucking thin ice.
Mr. Booty. Except for Sarah Bond.
I feel like she's probably on some shit too.
I
feel like she's on that hook too.
I'm
wagging
my finger. I'm like, girl.
All eyes are like on Matt Booty and Phil Spencer at the moment, though. Because, like I said, I mean, while Sarah Bond is the president of Xbox, Matt Booty is the one who is in charge of these fucking studios.
Not somebody say, not you say, bring Magic back. Nah, leave Magic Wingwood.
Boo.
No, absolutely not.
His ass needs to say a Zynga.
Yeah. He needs to say a Zynga. No, absolutely not. Don't put that evil on us, Ruin Bobby. Don't do it.
But yeah, like, it does not make sense. Like, all right, so Tango Gameworks put out The Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, which was was
okay.
And then Hi-Fi Rush, like, they were putting out bangers. Like, Ghostwire was a miss. But it was still a fucking banger. I mean, like, Hi-Fi Rush was a banger. And you closed that studio.
It was feature complete, and it ran, and it didn't break. I think the story was a little bit too heavy.
Its performance was an issue too, but
yeah,
it was just
too much. It was just too much for folks. And
Arcane Austin, the developers of fucking Dishonored and 2017's Prey.
Yeah.
Bangers of games.
Yes.
They make one flop because nobody was watching them. And they get cut.
Right. Because they were like, make a game that you don't know how to make and figure it out.
They were planning to add an offline mode to Redfall. but that's not happening.
Not getting that now.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Hi-Fi Rush, also there's another article here. Hi-Fi Rush creator praised good situation in our studio and freedom of risk taking a month before closure.
Doesn't.
Yeah, I feel this is going to be there's going to be another podcast video with Phil Spencer and Matt Booty trying to reassure fans.
On Kind of Funny again.
Well, no, remember they did their own podcast about the future of Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did their own, but I'm talking about they did the breakdown of Redfall on the Kind of Funny podcast.
I think that was just convenient.
Yeah.
I think that because I think they were scheduled to have him on the show anyway.
Right.
It just that it happened to be at Redfall's release.
Right.
Microsoft says it needs games like Hi-Fi Rush the day after killing its studio.
You're not going to get another Hi-Fi Rush again.
This is screaming Bungie after they cut all those people. Okay, now we have the right people here.
Right. You're not going to get another Hi-Fi Rush. You are not. Somebody else will. But you're not. The indie devs and the people who go off and do their own thing, they're gonna go and they're gonna make another Hi-Fi Rush.
Let me make sure I say the specific quote here, right? Today, one day after Microsoft announced that it would shut down 4 of its game studios, Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, held a town hall to discuss the division's future goals. Excuse me. Make sure I'm good here. Quote, we need smaller games that give us prestige and awards.
Mm-hmm.
You mean this one? This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
That was the one.
This literal small surprise title that got you prestige and fucking awards.
Yep, you're not gonna get. You're not gonna get
this
another Hi-Fi Rush.
One.
You're not gonna get another Hi-Fi Rush because you know.
If Microsoft touches Idsoft, Undead Labs, In Exile, what the fuck does In Exile do? Or Obsidian, we need to get Phil out of there.
Well, first of all, they can't do Obsidian because Obsidian is actually making Avowed and is the only thing that's making an Elder Scrolls right now beyond a fucking. Was beyond Bethesda, so they need that to survive. Also, they're making Outer Worlds 2. Undead Labs, I'm a little worried because I have not heard much about State of Decay 3, and
that one should have been gone.
That's the one's got me kind of like a little bit concerned of like where are we at in
I'm sorry, no, let me take that back. None of them should be gone. I'm sorry, let me take that back. That was me misspeaking. None of them should be gone.
None of them should be gone. Idsoft, I mean that's Doom. Who's gonna close Doom? Who's gonna close Wolfenstein? Absolutely not. Somebody will literally pick up that piece. Will literally say like, I got $10. I'll pull Doom off you. Like nobody's gonna do that. In Exile, what's In Exile again?
Is that Wasteland?
Wasteland.
Yes, I was right.
Oh, the Wasteland games.
Yes.
I could well, I don't want none of them to go either way. Yes, Wasteland, Bard's Tale. Yeah, I don't think they would go. I wouldn't want them to go. As trash at managing the studios. They just don't know when you buy something you actually have to upkeep it.
I feel like Microsoft just has like too many fucking moving parts and shit.
Yeah. I always thought like whenever they bought a company that they would have like, main leadership of let's say like Undead Labs. They'd have main leadership, right? and the studio bosses, and then they would have a Microsoft guy implanted, or a Microsoft, or like one or two Microsoft guys to be like supervisors, to be like the voice of Phil, and speak his words, and be like, and to revert to Phil.
I mean, but that's just like your publishing part. That's just like the publishing people at that point,
right? That's what I'm thinking. So like the breakdown of that, because why wouldn't Phil not know what was going on, or
I don't think that. But see, I don't. That's the thing. I don't think they do.
Don't tell Phil?
No, not that they don't tell Phil. I just don't think that fucking Microsoft knows what the fuck they're doing. Because again, like, they pretty much lied to the FTC.
Yeah.
Is that, yep, when we bring in Activision, we're not going to do much. Then they literally drop like 2,000 employees.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Yep. And they all, I think, and like Ruin makes a good point where they have some studio making quadruple A games, but I think a lot of studios, especially under the umbrella of like Xbox or Microsoft Gaming or whatever you want to call it, has to realize that the genre of that every studio is not going to make the next Halo, the next Gear. Well, some have to make the next Halo or Gears under the umbrella. They have,
but the studios they cut release games in 2023.
Right.
So it's like, at what point did they show you anything of substance?
Right.
Again, here it is. We have, and again, this is still to preface it by saying, I do not want any studios cut, but you have Undead Labs with State of Decay 3, which has not shown anything in years. Keep in mind, we've only seen a teaser for Perfect Dark.
Right. But
Coalition has not put out anything for Gear 6 at all.
Right. But I'm saying, like, you can't expect every studio under your umbrella to make the next Halo or Gears.
But that's not what they're looking for.
A game that makes millions upon billions of dollars.
But that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a hi-fi rush.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You make a hi-fi rush, but then you close down the studio that makes it.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So like, they're not looking for a next Halo. They're looking for a new hi-fi rush. They're looking for like punch it, get rich quick. Yo, let's do it.
Right. But again, games like those, they don't make a lot of money. They fill your catalog.
Yeah, sorry. They're not looking. Well, I mean, technically, they aren't looking for money either. Because again, we need smaller games that give us prestige and awards.
Right. So, but then you close the studio. So now it's like, do I want to be that person that makes the next hi-fi rush, and my studio gets closed because it does not make the money in which it makes, or do I just want to, like, cast my lot and just say, well, we'll just make the maps for a Halo game, or we'll just hold ourselves.
Well, to quote Phil Spencer at the aforementioned Kind of Funny podcast that he was on, quote, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their aspirations. Mm-hmm. So again, wants people to make hi-fi rush, but
close the studio. And I mean, you have, but then, like, say you have games like Sea of Thieves and Grounded, which are, I mean, they make money, but I don't know if you would expect them to make millions upon millions of money. Millions upon billions of money.
I mean, yeah, you got 2 live service games that are up. Why not keep up a third?
Yeah.
I mean, you technically don't have to keep up with fucking Redfall. Just get rid of it and just get it worked on something else. But here we are.
But that was the thing, though, because I would have been like, it would have been better for me. It would have been better for us to just be like, all right, here's the offline mode. Those goofy people that want to play this game offline, let them have the ability to do so. But the fact that and then we'll just work on Dishonored 3 or Prey 2 and go about our business. Same thing with Tango Games Works.
Or at least if you were getting rid of that fucking studio, at least let them do the offline mode. I mean, hopefully there's still somebody there. Hopefully the source code's still there.
Yeah,
somebody can go in and try to patch it for those weird people who play Redfall.
Yeah, because there are some. I have found some people who do, and I'm like, God bless you. I'm not one of them.
Sin, any thoughts?
I mean, nope. I think I said the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, wait. I technically have one more thing.
Oh.
It's been sitting on the back of my head for a while.
Lying on the back of my brain.
Sin, I'm here to pick on your home state once again.
Oh, you know something? That's fair. While we're also here, I remembered an extension of that divestment conversation that we need to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I asked this question in the Discord. I still need an answer to this question. What storage should I buy?
Again, I'm still going to say iCloud. Well, I don't know. Google might be cheaper.
You see where I'm just like, I'm between a rock and a hard place with this choice? Okay, please continue.
Yep. Because
what North Carolina do?
No, not North Carolina. I said your former home, your home state.
Oh, that's the one that that's the one that Kevin's in.
Georgia.
I thought you were from New York.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm in North Carolina and I was in Georgia before that and I was in New York before that. So we're going all the way back here.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
Okay, so what did Eric Adams do now?
Oh, baby, it's bigger than him. It's the governor.
Oh, yeah.
New York governor, sorry for saying black children in the Bronx don't know what computers are.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm like, girl.
I can't believe I forgot this.
Again, Google.
I cannot believe this absolute why?
What is going on with New York, dog? The simulation is failing right now.
If it ain't New York, it's Florida. If it ain't Florida, it's Texas. If it ain't Texas, it's Louisiana.
They said black people don't know how to use computers.
The simulation is failing, bro.
And again, Google is free.
She divested
Google
from it.
and information is free.
She divested from it. She was using ChatGPT.
Oh, she was using ChatGPT.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that sends me about this. Again, this is one of those, we have 2 lanes of struggle, and I would like you to pick one. Do black people not know how to use computers? Or are they not the most popular and creative demographic and imitated demographic on every social media platform? Which they can't do if they don't know how to use computers. Like,
look, they're imitating them from every other borough and not the Bronx.
Now, I would say, if I would say something, instead, not so much computers, but I would say definitely like not have the best relationship with access to internet. And I would definitely say, yeah, possibly not have the best, access to internet. Before I would say don't know what a computer is,
because every student in the Bronx gets a Chromebook.
They get a Chromebook. Like they were educators that
maybe that's not a computer. Look, maybe we need to talk to Google. It's
computers.
It's like that, like those iPad commercials. What is a computer?
Right. And I'm like,
this is a computer. It's a Chromebook.
How are you not embarrassed?
Mm-hmm. I mean, she is embarrassed, so that's why she's apologizing. But, it's like, but you, because like I say, I see those videos and I'm like, the literal confidence of her to be able to say loud and wrong that people in the Bronx do not know about PCs. Both confused. Like, girl, have you not known how people have had access to PCs? Like I've had an incident with one of my white professors accused me of going to the library to use their computers to do stuff, and I'm like, ma'am, I have a laptop. I had a laptop in 2003. So, and I was watching Smooth Outlaw Star on it, and I'm like, why do I need to go to the computer to soak up what internet? I have internet at the house. I have a laptop. What are you talking about? Like, I do what? I have my.
You just want to look at some people and be like, what does 192, 168, 12 mean to you? And if you don't know the answer to that question, please stop talking to me.
Mm-hmm. So I need y'all to truly understand when I say this to y'all.
Because you didn't use the dots. It took me a minute.
Yeah. And I'm like, I say this to quote Miss Tiffany Pollard. You could have just shut up there and ate your food. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to read the rest of this.
Who is also from New York and will tell you, because it's also in her name, that you could have just sat there and ate your food. I'm really just saying that,
Calmly, didn't even here's the thing, didn't even need a reservation. The table was free.
Table was free. Like, I know somebody, one of your aides was looking at you very funny after that and be like, girl, you did not eat. You were starving.
I have to read the rest of this. Addressing the criticism, Ms. Hochul claimed that she had misspoken at the conference. Quote, of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI.
Whose fault is that?
Why are we still focused on fucking AI? Get the fuck off of AI's nuts. Damn.
Ain't you the governor? Girl, ain't you the governor?
Ms. Hochul, who was elected governor in 2021, has previously apologized for ham-fisted analogy of the conflict in Gaza, where she suggested she would annihilate Canada if it invaded the city of Buffalo in New York State. I'm sorry, my friends. There would be no quote. I'm sorry, quote. I'm sorry, my friends. There will be no Canada the next day, unquote, or end quote, she said. She later apologized for, quote, poor choice of words, end quote.
Mm-hmm. Again, another poor choice of words.
Why are we electing people who don't know how to words?
Because they words at the right time, but when they need to words, they don't know how to word.
But I feel like if you don't know how to words good all the time, which is, during the times that you're doing your job, right? If you don't know how to words good when you're doing your job, then you should not have a job that you have to words good for.
Because people don't care about words unless election time words are being used during elections.
To quote Aaron Burr from Hamilton, talk less, smile more.
That's how you don't get shot, I guess. That's how you do the shooting.
Yep, that's what happened. That's from the shooter, not the shootee.
Yeah.
I have the honor to be your obedient servant.
So, okay, Ruin. I saw the video initially on TikTok, so I did not know there was an ASL interpreter there. It wasn't until later I saw it on YouTube and I could see the whole thing. I was like, yo, she is literally signing this, bro.
As they do. I
can't.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta get it. We gotta get out of here. All right, I'm done now. I'm done.
Boy.
This is the world according to Tech and Gaming. It ain't great.
No.
It ain't great.
No.
It ain't great.
No.
Kev, what you got going on this week?
Well, I'm at that, I've been kind of in what you would call a bit of a funk over the last couple of like weeks, a month or so. I think it's the whole like me being like, oh my god, am I 40? Oh my god, 40 years old? What? And I feel every bit of my 40 years have sitting on my chest like an 800-pound gorilla, so to speak, just on my chest. And I've been kind of like, and then of course imposter syndrome be hitting like a mug. So I've been kind of like going back and forth, but in the meantime, in the midst of that, and the sad boy hours, I have been like truly touched by some awesome, and I mean awesome indie games. Like Aoden has been amazing. Playing Harold Halibut, which is like a tour de force, stellarly made, wonderfully put together game. It's like in the claymation style, where they basically make the figures, they carve and craft the figures, and then scan them in digitally and animate them. So they definitely take on this like almost like claymation-esque style of game, and I'm just in awe and enraptured by that game. Played Botany Manor and a few other things. So, but mostly it's just been me like playing really awesome games and trying to find some adultingness. Also dealing with the fact that my city is on some BS where there was almost like an election. There was an election like scandal, and my district does not have a commissioner, and so we don't have adequate representation. And then another commissioner had passed, and then that seat has been, and then election political chicanery has allowed that seat to be left open until November, and now that is left open.
So what I'm hearing is that 1, no taxation without representation.
Yes.
2, Kevy Kev is running for town commissioner.
I would,
don't do it because movements.
Yeah, I would if I could, but I'm just like I am already tired enough as it is. I don't want to be like also part of the political machine too.
Look,
but I definitely
run as a socialist.
But
no.
But
wait,
what,
whoa.
But what I have also decided that I am going to be but I would rather be in more of the grassroots efforts of basically letting people know, hey, voting is definitely there. Like early voting is there, and I voted. Was it yesterday? I voted yesterday, and when I tell you, when I went down every bit of that vote and saw all that stuff of like, do you want fair wages? Yes. Do you believe in protecting a woman's right for bodily autonomy? Yes. It was literally like, oh, this is what we voted for this? Absolutely yes. All of it. So
I cannot believe that these are questions.
Like, why do I have to vote on this? This should just be it. But you know what? Yes, I'm voting for it. I'm all for all of it. This should just be, a Tuesday. This should just be stuff that's on a Tuesday. But yet I'm voting for it. Yes.
Like I do not know how to explain how I feel being in a country that is all about quote unquote, like people's freedoms and the First Amendment and all of this other stuff, and having to be like looking at your ballot and having should people have rights? Like, this is a question that we're being asked in 2024 as an election on an election ballot.
Right.
Do you think people should have rights? Do you think we should mind our own business and leave people alone if they're not doing something harmful to other people?
It was really in that fact of should we not use prisoners as possible slavery? And I'm like, yes, we shouldn't do that. We should never do that. Yes, let's close that up. Let's close these bad loopholes
Like,
and stuff.
you know,
I'm
like
girl,
in case it was in any way unclear that these are things that I think we should do. Yes, I do think I think we should be doing that.
Yeah. Should we do that? Should we treat people with respect? Yes, I think that's a yes though. And then it was like all those like heavy questions, and then it was like, Dad, do you want to vote for like Board of Education? But yeah, it was yeah, I was like, yeah, we need to do all that, and so I've been dealing with that, and just taking my yard back, and because I'm like, I'm trying to stay on the good side of the city, because I don't want them coming around looking at me doing nothing about my weeds. All right, they're already looking at my vehicles crazy, and I don't want them looking at my crabgrass even less. So I'm just, look, I don't care. Like my dollar weed even less. Leave my dollar weed alone. So yeah, probably. Start the arduous process of getting my yard cleared away from the winter growth, and of course play Aeldin, because Aeldin slaps. Oh my god, Aeldin is so good. Game of the year, on the game of the year list, if not my game of the year. But V Rising is really truly coming a close second, because V Rising is feeling like the Diablo that I wanted but I never got. Because it has crafting and base building mechanics, and I'm like, I don't know why this would so be a great Tech Talk Thursday game, and I'm actually regretting making an online game, which I should have just made like a little private something for me and myself, and whoever else wanted to play with me, so we could just like make our own castles. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm enjoying it for however long I'm enjoying it, but we shall see. And yeah, that's it for me. Just been playing a lot of really awesome, good indie games as well.
Okay, before Sync goes, I was reading something on Mastodon and I find this hilarious. What is it? What is this title? Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, just announced that he's introducing a bill that's supposed to keep illegal, or it's supposed to be keep illegals from voting in federal elections, because we all know that that's what they're doing.
Oh,
even though there's a law that says they aren't doing it.
Because you require IDs, which you couldn't have if you were, you know what?
Although
I feel like that does have a companion bill. I don't know if you're aware that they have introduced a bill that is.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Is it a clapback bill?
I think that's the easiest way to describe it. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read this one, and I want to see if it's the one you're thinking of or the one you're about to say. But I do want to finish. It's not. So Johnson also said it's not something that is easily proven. We don't have that number. I watched a interview with Piers Morgan is interviewing an Israeli spokesperson, where it's like, hey, are you not killing civilians? Oh, we don't have the number of civilians, but we have the number of Hamas we're killing. How do you know that you're not killing civilians if you don't have the number? We don't keep track of that. Yeah, I know. But how do you know? We are doing the utmost to not kill civilians. How do you know if you don't have a number? Do you have a number? No, we don't got a number. But we can tell you how many Hamas we killed.
Can you though?
Yeah, that's another. In response, California Democratic Representative Ted Lieu mocked the unserious nature of the governing majority of the House with a counterproposal matching Johnson's ludicrous position. I will be introducing a bill to ban elementary school students from voting, even though it's already illegal for them to vote in federal elections. I intuitively know young kids are voting in federal elections, but can't prove it. However, my cousin's friend read it on the internet. Was that your counter bill?
It was not.
Oh man, I want to hear yours.
So they are introducing a bill that will make it such that if a college student that is in the United States on a visa is caught in or identified at any of these like pro-human rights student protests, because I'm just going to put it like that, because I mean, Palestine issues, Congo issues, and other places that are protesting against genocide are in fact human rights issues, can have their visas revoked.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a clapback. That just sounds like more evil.
And I'm just like, there's that. And this is where I just go, hey, do you know that thing where we said about, hey, just so you know, people who are illegal can't vote over here, because they also are amping up the amount of things that you can be assessed that can be assessed as a felony.
Yeah, don't forget too that they have introduced a bill that says, hey, I'm sorry, it's already passed the House if I'm not mistaken, that redefines anti-Semitism as criticism of Israel. I want to take this time specifically. I'm going to turn the music down.
To say that this has come up a lot, and people have said, don't do that.
I mean, and they have, rightly so. I mean, well, unrightly so. But they have said that, and I'm going to do it right now. From the river, and I want you to see my face. See me, see me, see me. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Okay. Sid, what you got going on this week?
I absolutely need to add something to my soundboard that just has an organ sound effect.
Like a whole
You have a whole ass piano behind you.
Like a whole note interchange where it'd be like, dun,
yes.
And like
yeah. But yeah, Sid, what do you got going on this week? We're dragging this out longer than it needs to be.
It's although the star set. So we are doing the things. We got games this weekend. Hopefully a stream this Sunday. And then next week we have charity game coming up for an event for that called Games for Change, where they are raising money for different charities. And I need to look up what the one is for this year, but I will both be like playing things and helping with background tech and production things. It's gonna be a fun time. The charity that we're raising money for Games of Change this year, or like they do this 2 times a year, so this one is going to PCRF. That is the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. That we're going to be doing that. So that event is going to be running from Thursday evening next week till Sunday. So that is, hold on, the 16th to the 19th, I believe, that things are going to be happening there. So when you are not over here hanging out in the Tech Talk Thursday lobby, go check that out. See what's going on over there.
Please. Donate if you can.
That is on the D&D Jordan Lee channel, and I will say this. Why don't I just do the thing real quick? My goodness gracious. I'll figure out a way to get this link to y'all and see if I can post that on Mastodon, because I would hate to have to send y'all to Twitter. However, if you do want to go, you can go there. To see where that information is happening and all that other stuff. Otherwise, when we are here next Thursday, I will tell y'all where to find me next week on Thursday.
Sounds good.
Other than that, we've been going through a little bit, once again, minimizing things, and I now have several tech questions. Of things like, As far as things to keep in the house for backup purposes and all that, what do we consider tech essentials? Is it like extra Ethernet cables, zip ties, charging cables?
I'd say charging cables mostly.
Yeah.
Because I have a whole bunch of things and I'm like, do I need these things? I don't know, but we're going through all of it. So,
I mean, for me, I
Yeah.
got like a shit ton of cables. I bought bins and I sorted them out so that way, like, hey, if I need something, I know about what bin I need to search in to look for it. So like more like a proactive Doom box as opposed to my other Doom boxes that probably have non-essential knickknacks and old tech that just sits on a desk and I just toss into a bin. I do have over here, I do have like those like metal, like those little great looking cubby things, like a little bookshelf, like little square holes in them.
okay.
And bought like those like cloth storage bin things, and I've sorted the cables and doodads that I will possibly need for a random project. So if I'm looking for power, anything that's power related, I know to go into that cubby. If there's Ethernet or networking, audio visual, I've got them all separated so I don't have to like go super digging for cables.
That makes sense.
But yeah, like, I mean, honestly, it's like for me, I never know when I'm going to need a cable. I never know when I'm going to need a mini USB cable, which is what you use to charge a PS3 controller. Not micro USB, mini USB. Ain't much shit running mini USB, let alone micro. So like I keep those cables because I never know. Like when I started trying to play Metal Gear Solid on my PS3, I needed to charge my PS3 controllers. Luckily, I still had my mini USB cables laying around. But yeah.
Things to work on and figure out, because once again, am I going through the things in my closet and all this other stuff and being like, I have too many of some things and not enough of others. So we're doing all of that because, you know, every now and then we have to just do that quarterly inventory. But that's all that's going on over here, really.
Okay. Let's see. For me, I mean, of course, protests are going on. Mutual aid stuff is going on. Just making sure that people are taken care of. Look, again, like I'm living this life. I sitting there talking to somebody on Facebook who really does not think that we could sit there and go beyond capitalism. Trying to tell them, so look, it's a thing that is a reality. It is an actual reality we can achieve if we believe in that. If you stuck in this capitalist hellscape, that's on you. But I'm gonna keep fighting for the truth. So there's that. I want to say, because I think Nakba Day is coming up. So I think Nakba Day is on the 11th, but we're having something on the 15th. Doing a little teaching and a movie screening. So I think that's at the People Solidarity Hub in Durham. If you want to come out, I cannot remember what movie we're watching. I don't think that's been made public yet. But yeah, we're doing a movie screening Wednesday, so I'm kind of excited about that. DCA changes. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to go back to writing articles. I don't know. However, I did something today that I thought was pretty cool, and at least one person in chat said that they wanted to see this, and that is doing daily news streams. So possibly going in on the day after, so like Monday through Thursday maybe, kind of going through news from the previous day and saving the juicy stuff to kind of share with you guys on Thursday.
So Do you mean as in you're on camera being like, hey, here's some summary of here's some stuff that happened this week?
Or literally just going through the news. It's like if I bookmark it in my RSS feed, it's like, all right, we're gonna really read this shit. And it's like that way I can kind of cover more minutia things that I would probably like to write about, but do not have the time to write about it personally.
Okay.
That way I'm still sharing my opinions, but I can actually kind of get it done a little bit quicker, and it will still generate content for DCA. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I am trying to commit to doing this every morning at about 10 a.m. I know the days in which I don't have to take my son to school might be a little difficult because I may be like, look, I ain't got to get up, so I ain't getting up. But luckily that day will probably only be Tuesday. Because depending on what Thursday nights look like after a show, I may not be doing it Friday morning because news really isn't being made Friday morning. It's like Friday evening going into the weekend because they're trying to bury it. So yeah, tune in Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Hopefully for some news and then maybe play some video games. We finished Spec Ops today. And found out that Horizon Forbidden West does play and stream on my PC fairly well. So looking into probably going through that now. So I think I finally figured out what my morning situation is going to be like. In the evenings, I can actually rest. So we'll see. Come cheer me on 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday for some news and some games. I think that's it though. I don't think I got nothing else. Oh, Mother's Day is this weekend.
It is.
Happy Mother's Day for the mothers out there. Not only birth mothers, but people who serve as a mother for various groups of people. You know, families are important too. Definitely still want to hold space for those who this may be a difficult time for various reasons. Not everybody celebrates holidays like these because of one reason or another. So definitely we'll respect those two who are going through any number of things during this weekend. So definitely our hearts with you too. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. So on that note, thank you everybody for tuning into another episode of Tech Talk Thursday for May 9th, 2024. On behalf of Zinziak, on behalf of Kevy Kev, I've been your host, Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux. Of course, if you have watched this video live, you can catch archives over at majors.house/TTT and TTT vids. If you're listening to the archive, you can catch us live here at twitch.tv/Major Linux, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Of course, you got questions, TTT at majorshouse.com, or you can visit us over at the Discord, majors.house/Discord. Of course, our socials on Mastodon specifically are in the descriptions below, in the show notes for those who are listening to the podcast. I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Thank you. Excuse me. Again, before I forget, please vote for us in the BIPOC Streamer Awards. The link is in the chat, but I will also include a link in the show notes where you can go vote for us in the Chatterbox Award for greatness in podcasting and tabletop content creation. Again, it is listed under me, but again, because TTT is 90% of content on this channel, this is a Tech Talk Thursdays award. I will accept it as such. These jokers ain't got shit to say about it. That's how I'm gonna do it. And Anka's not here to protest either.
I won't fight you about it today.
You ain't gonna fight ever. This is what's gonna happen.
Rain check on the fade.
Anywho, that's all I've got. Of course, you all could have been anywhere in the world watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the gaming tech news. Excuse me, we're covering news here. Yourself, but you said no. I want to get it from an award-nominated podcast who actually looks at books and not pictures of books because they ain't trying to get clowned in these streets. And for that, I say thank you. And all I've got left to say to you, people, is ain't nobody gonna protect us except for us. I love you. In peace. Out.
Wakanda forever.